Let's see here now. 166 days until training camp. 113 until the start of the National Football League season, and 7 days to OTAs. How you doing? Let's F and G, and we are on our way. Dude, you blink and you're here. You blink again, the season starts. Crazy. Hit the like button. Super chats go to the top. Absolutely here, man. Appreciate it very much. You guys have so many options, and we thank you again for coming aboard each and every single day here. Oh, yes, 2026 is going to be a tell-all year. Okay? Sills, what's with the disguise? My friend, only 17,000 people in the world can wear the hat I'm wearing right now. Only 17,000 in the history of the National Football League can wear this hat. And your boy Big Cells is one of them. How you doing? See, that kind of separates our show from everyone else. Very few people get a chance to wear the hat. Okay? And very few people get a chance to be part of that great fraternity. Still, Jalen Hurts will be the MVP in 26. You heard it here first. Shit. Jalen Hurts will be benched by the middle of the year. You should get a hat that fits that fat head. It fits, Junior. It fits. Remember, it always fits. Good shit, Sills. Congratulations. How you doing? That's right. Be benched by midseason. All right. You know, in my quest to look for great content, I look all over the place. You know, I do a lot of reading. I do 3 shows a week, 2 during the week, Monday through Friday. So I'm always looking for great content. So I'm surfing around, and I'm talking with Rhea Hughes over at WIP. She said this to me today. Hey, did you see one of our topic questions? And I went over, and by the way, Angelo Cataldi will be with us at 3:30. And I'm going to thank him for that fabulous relationship that we now have with Rhea. He goes, have you seen the topic? And I'm like, no. And she's like, go take a look at it. So I went over and I took a look at it. And I actually liked it so much that, you know, we're going to start our show with it here. Where's he? Are you? Yeah. Yes. Okay. So the reason, according to the #1 sports talk radio station in Philadelphia, the reason that A.J. Brown wants out of Philly is the quarterback. And I started thinking about it. It's the quarterback. But then I'm going to add something. Is it the quarterback or Nick? Or both? He doesn't respect both. It came out to, what was it here? So 44% say yes. Oh, it's changed. And 55% say no. So it's kind of down the middle here on how you look at why A.J. Brown wants out so much. Does A.J. really want out because of the quarterback? Like, listen, it can't be because of the winning. It can't be because of, you know, his numbers. He gets both of those in Philadelphia. Then what is it? It's got to be the quarterback and the coach. It's the quarterback and the coach and why he wants out. Now, again, Mike Vrabel and Drake May don't have the success that Jalen Hurts has. Why would he want to go to New England? Or is it just he can't take playing for these two guys? Okay? Why doesn't he want to play? If these guys are so successful, how come he doesn't want to stay here? Michael Jordan and Tom Brady think Hurts is elite. Has to be Nick. Philly ain't for the weak-minded. Okay? There's something to that. This is my theory. I think Nick told AJ the offense no longer goes through him. That's a freaking great take. Or how about this, Kyle? We don't have, well, to your point, our offense is not going to be predicated on one guy. How many times have you heard Nick say that? 1 week it's going to be this guy, 1 week it's going to be that. And did that rub AJ wrong? AJ wants to go because Hurts was fucking on his. No, I don't believe that. AJ doesn't care about winning, plain and simple. I don't think that's true at all. He won here. As a matter of fact, he gave you the greatest era wide receiver play in the history of the franchise. Nobody has played better wide receiver than what A.J. Brown has done. Nobody. In that period of time, A.J. Brown is the most accomplished wide receiver in Eagle history. It's not close. No wide receiver has had more success than A.J. Brown. He's the most decorated and most celebrated wide receiver in Eagle history. 2-time Super Bowl. Ever since he got here, it's been about getting to the playoffs and Super Bowl and winning. So don't talk to me about him not caring about winning. That's all he is about since he's been here, is winning. As a matter of fact, I think A.J. Brown, hey, Kyle, can you do me a favor? Look this one up. I think A.J. Brown went to an AFC championship game when he was with the AFC's Tennessee Titans. I think the Titans went to the AFC title game with him. AJ just wants the offense to be better. He may come off as a diva, but he knows there is a problem. Yes. I think what happened with AJ's, it started off as a small thing and then just snowballed into something really big. I believe it's personal too with Hurts. Sills, you would think he would say, considering on what Mannion wants to do, it's Nick he wants to run through him. You would think he'd want to stay, right? Is that what you're saying? You would think he would want to stay. I would think that. Bitch in Tennessee, bitched here. Well, bitch wherever he goes next. Well, wait a minute. Here's one thing that you guys get a little bit bent over. Okay? You know who the player is. Then don't complain about knowing who the guy is. I'm not, anytime there's a situation or anything that is said about a player, I always look at his pre-draft, who he is, and what the NFL players think of him, and how the NFL guys look at him, and how they evaluate him in his profile. I'm not shocked. I knew who he was coming out of Ole Miss. You're the ones that don't. Here, well, I'm going to answer the question here in a minute. AJ wants to be the focal point of the offense and not a value cog in a winning system. You guys missed it. Michael Irvin said, the offensive passing game goes through me. They won 3 Super Bowls with that mentality. Not spreading the ball around. Fans bitch every day and have limited skin, light skin and thin skin, I would think, or have limited skin in the game. What do you expect from someone who actually plays? Yeah, they want the best for them too. The Eagles have a better chance to win with him. And he has a better chance to win with the... Yeah, I agree. That's why it doesn't make sense, Angelo. Yep. That's what I'm saying. It's Nick. Here's what I say. Appreciate you coming aboard. Hit the like button. What I think happened was this. I think this has evolved into a horrible relationship, and I think this is Sirianni. Sirianni does not want the passing game to go through one player because why? That's not how Nick Sirianni was schooled. Nick Sirianni was with a quarterback like Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers believed in spreading the ball around. Phillip Rivers never had a focal point wide out. He had an elite wide receiver. I can't remember. I think it was Vincent Jackson, who was, I think it was Keenan Allen, a little bit of Vincent Jackson, but more so Keenan Allen. And Keenan Allen wasn't even really the focal point when Nick was in San Diego. Phillip Rivers spread the ball all around. And they believe in systems, not going through one guy. I'm the longest JAKIB subscriber. That's because you guys tell the truth. Miguel, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. As we said, today, Angelo Cataldi will join us. Appreciate you guys coming aboard, man. Thank you. I believe we're getting JAKIB at 4:30. He was in a golf tournament yesterday, and he was winning it, by the way. Let's see here. Because it's an antiquated way to get the ball down the field, focusing on one guy. Really? You think the Seattle Seahawks focused on one guy? JSN? Phillip Rivers had elite IQ and knew where to throw the ball. That's right. This quarterback doesn't. Hurts will be benched midseason. I'd be surprised if Jalen gets benched. So would I. And by the way, I'll say this right now. In 2026, no way do I want to see Jalen Hurts benched. He deserves every opportunity to have 17 football games, even if it goes rough in the beginning, to make this happen and make this work. I completely believe that. Hey, you paid him, you play him. Now, wait a minute. Let's do something here with that. Since you didn't have the patience with Jeff Stoutland, are you going to have the patience with Hurts? Probably more so with Hurts because of the amount of money that's involved here. AJ's far from selfish, and he has praised Nick. He's praised Nick more than once. It's not about the offense running through him. It's about playing on schedule for a quarterback who can't. Stop blaming Jalen, y'all. It's Hurts. I think you're saying stop blaming Nick. Facts, Hills. Or else, how's Hurts going to learn from his mistakes and improve? Sills, Hurts needs to play. If he does, it makes moving on from him easier. Trading a guy, riding the bench minimizes the return in a trade. Absolutely. Bob, you got great football sense. That's correct. Sills, you should jump on the Eagles Hurts train while you can. You keep doubting the team. Bro, the team has pulled it off all but one time in 5 years on the things I thought they would do. Congratulations to you on the 24 year. It was a crazy great year and a historic year for Saquon Barkley. If it wasn't for that Saquon epic year, you're not winning that. And it was just perfectly done. Every other year we've been on. 22, we told you you'd go to the Super Bowl. 23, we told you you'd have the meltdown. 24, again, like you said, I can't believe it. And 25, we said you were one and done. Not sure what bandwagon you're talking about. So the problem is Nick had Phillip Rivers as a quarterback, known for passing the ball. Nick doesn't know how to operate with a quarterback like Hurts. I agree. That's why Shane did so well. Simplifying the offense doesn't help the quarterback. It actually helped the team, though, by what they did. Jalen had 2 seasons of 17 games to suck. No more. He deserves another chance like once he's already pooped all over. Enough. Dude, he's been to 2 Super Bowls, and he's had 2 years that you could determine were not good if you want. I still think the Super Bowls give him the equity. I mean, I still think that gives him the equity. So all we can hope for is that everyone contributes and the run game getting and being better. You're hoping for things with older players. You know what's funny? So Zander last year, and by the way, he's not wrong. He brings up how I looked at how Washington brought all those veteran guys in. Washington had to bring those veteran guys in because the 25 years of what they had going on there, they missed drafts, bad players, bad quarterback selections, the whole fucking 9 yards. So they had to bring some veteran successful guys in. Bobby Wagner, Jeremy Tunsil, dudes like that. You had to do that. Well, I said, and I did say, this thing's going to either be a grand slam or a colossal disaster. I still picked them to win the division. They got Debo in, but the old guys, they shit all over themselves. And now, because you went down that lane, it's going to kind of infect a year and a half of Commander football. Because they don't have the stability with the draft that the Eagles have. See, the Eagles have stability because of the draft. They can miss on Bryce Huff. The Commanders can't miss on Bryce Huff. You know what I mean? You can't miss on that. Because you don't have the draft picks. You haven't been successful in the NFL draft. Seals, would you start running the ball beginning of the season until the passing game starts picking up? Hoss, if you don't win first and second down, I don't give a shit what passing game you have. The Eagles last year were undisciplined and they couldn't move the sticks. Think about that. In the Nick Sirianni era, they were undisciplined and they just couldn't get it done and moving the sticks. Harold Carmichael, Tommy McDonald, Mike Quick are all better eras than AJ. Absolutely fucking wrong. 2 Super Bowls, a win, all pros, and the best 5-year run in Eagle history. You can't debate it. Here, let's take a look at AJ for a second. AJ Brown, you're trying to tell me that AJ Brown has not had the best 5-year run and been the most decorated player and had the biggest impact on winning in Eagle history, and Harold Carmichael did. So let's take a look at that. In 2022, you were 14-3. 23, you were 11-6. In 24, you were 14-3. Last year, you were 11-6. 50-18. 50-18. 3-0. And 22. 0-1. That's 3-1. You were 3-0. Actually, 2-1. That's 6-2, and you're 6-3 in the playoffs. This guy's won 56 ball games since he's been here. Yeah, dude, I don't see where you think that is true. Now, AJ's the greatest wide receiver of all time since he's gone. No, I said AJ's the greatest wide receiver in Eagle history and the most accomplished. You had it all time. Sills, I don't think it's beneficial to Nick Sirianni to let anyone shows off and turn Jalen Hurts to a really good passer. His input won't matter no more. That's my gripe with Nick. Has the player improved throughout all of this? No. Who's to blame for that? Nick. It is. In the real world, bosses are terminated for employees' regressions. Yes, we can blame them too. Team not AJ, as you always point out with Hurts. Dude, you're missing the point. AJ Brown doesn't think like that. AJ wants the team to win, but he wants to be the reason it wins. You want that on your football team. Like, with a second left in the game, you don't want the guy to defer. You want the guy to take the shot. That's who I want on my team, right? AJ has terrible AJ was a terrible cancer for the team. Plus, he quit on the team last year. He needs to be gone yesterday, hopefully to Cleveland. Here's a guy again that, because this guy's all butthurt that he wants out and he doesn't like what's going on, is now calling A.J. Brown a cancer. In the most successful years in any 5-year span in the history of your franchise. And now he's a cancer. Nick's fault. Jalen rolls right 50 times a game instead of staying in the pocket. You're a fucking professional. Work on your craft instead of squatting. It's not a horrible take. Nobody gives a shit about a player who ain't going to be on the team. Why do you care about the drama? We only give a shit about people who will allow the Eagles to win. Dude, you're not a better football team today without A.J. Brown on it. That's why people should give a shit. You think you are, but you ain't. This guy's going to tell you this. You know what Emrayes will tell you? Mekhi Lemon, a rookie, is going to be a better player than A.J. this year. Or that Devontae's a number one. We'll see. We'll see. Hurts is the closest thing to Kobe. Give me a fucking break. Based on what? You haven't seen shit this year. Correct. I know who A.J. Brown is. Don't worry. We got a topic for Mekhi Lemon coming up. Dude, Name me one rookie wide receiver that has had incredible impact on your football team ever. Devontae Smith did not have the impact that they thought he was going to have his rookie year. You know why? The next year they traded for AJ. Mekhi Lemon's 192 pounds and 5'11". That's right. He's a 5'11", 192-pound guy. You're trying to tell me you think that A.J. Brown and Mekhi Lemon? Not you, James. Okay? Just saying, Mannion, with the new coaches, Hurts and the offensive click, and Hurts is a top 3 in the MVP, and it's up his best season to date. Just saying, Mannion with the new coaches, Hurts and offense click, and Hurts is top 3 in MVP and has put up his best season to date. Does make Jalen and Mannion look great or Nick look horrible? I think it'll make Mannion and Nick look good. Lemon is a decent wide receiver, but I think the Eagles reached at that trade. Hey, my friend, I think Mekhi Lemon was a good college football player. I don't believe he was special. I don't really believe there were a lot of special guys in that draft. You're blowing Lemon up to make him into – he's not Devontae Smith. He's a good player. Was he – let me see something here. Was he special at USC? Let me see here. Like, was this guy special? $764 yards and 1156 and 11 touchdowns. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I believe I voted for him for the Bolitnikov. AJ was slightly above average last year. He barely, bro. Not even. Silsby slurping takes when we win the Super Bowl. Yeah, not happening. You could have Patrick Mahomes in Philly and fans would still want him out. Patrick Mahomes? I doubt it. I have yet to see the big deal with Lemon. I ain't saying he's a bum. I'm with you on this. But I saw nothing that jumped out. That's my take with him. Underdog. I know people are blowing the kid up, but was he special at USC? Let me think. Let me see who were the All-Americans last year. 2025 All-American football team. Let me see here. Who were the consensus All-Americans? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, because I did vote for Lemon for the Bolitnikov. It was Lemon and Smith. Malachi Tony got some love. But yeah, it was Lemon. Lemon was a consensus. That's impressive. Let me see how many consensus guys there were. Mendoza wasn't even consensus. I believe that's what that is. Yeah. Mekhi Lemon was a consensus All-American. AFCA, FWAA, that's me. I'm FWAA, and I did vote for him. Mendoza, I voted for Mendoza, Jeremiah Love, Hardy from Missouri. I also thought the kid Lacey from Ole Miss was good, but I did Lemon. I did Skylar Bell. I thought him as a second team. And by the way, Eli Stowers, I put him on my ballot for All-American last year. That's my problem. When you guys realize Nick didn't have the answers, you'll find out this season, though. If the offense thrives under Sean, is that Nick? You guys will praise it as that. No, because we had a water pressure issue. That's why I'm wearing a hat, or I wouldn't. I think Rodgers going back to Pittsburgh is going to hurt the Steelers' future at quarterback position. He's not getting another Super Bowl. I just don't understand the Steelers sometimes. Hey, the Steelers haven't had a transition plan since Roethlisberger left. Rodgers can't win, and the Steelers can't win. McCarthy can't win. It's perfect. And they're perfect for one another. The offense didn't thrive under Kellen Moore, but it's going to with Manning with a lesser roster. I 1,000% agree. You know what? Again, we're going to get into the next topic here in a second. But if we have success, it'll be because Manning was sent by God. Definitely not because Hurts and Sirianni. Another glazed donut comment from that dude. Still, even with Hurts quarterback issues, you know what? It should be M Donut Glazer from now on. The King Eagle Donut Glazer. Ooh, wow. I mean, this guy needs a cheerleader outfit. Put a cheerleader outfit on M. Reyes. Give him phony boobs. Even with the Hurts quarterback issue, this team was able to win in spite of Nick's inability to develop him. We can't win if Hurts won't run. Jalen Hurts running open things up for AJ, hence AJ's numbers. Arguing that this team, nobody said the team's doomed. Get this. Wait a second here. Do you believe he'll be a better football team this year without A.J. Brown? Hey, Glad, I'm not even. So when you do better next year than we did with A.J. this past season, then what? You retards are going to tuck your tails. So, Gaddy, you think that you're a better unit. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson versus Devontae Smith, Mekhi Lemon, and Dontavian Wicks. You think you're better there. Is that right? Not having a conversation with that either. Put a cheerleader outfit on that and send it to Minnesota. How you doing? I'm not saying cheerleaders are soft. No, thank you. No, I'm not. Okay. All right. Yeah, thank you, Kimberly. Yes. I'm getting reprimanded. You think cheerleaders are soft? Absolutely not, especially when they get thrown up like that. You know what's soft is the guy cheerleaders, not the chick cheerleaders. No. You're not. I'm not sitting there going to be a guy. Listen, you can't be a cashier and you can't be a guy cheerleader. True. He does have ass in his hand all day. Something to think about. Yeah, I know. You're right. The only thing I have in my hand all day is, how you doing? Good point there by the lovely Kim. Still's getting in trouble. I don't get in trouble. I get reprimanded. Again, I asked my wife the other day, who's the stupidest person you ever met in your life? You know what she says? No, who's the biggest son of a bitch you've ever met in your life? You. Yeah. You. Thanks, Sue. I appreciate you there. Thank you, doing. How you doing? That's what happens when you're married 40 years. You know what? We got a new company we started. It's called Seat of Your Pants. How you doing? Boy, did we fly by the seat of your pants. I'll tell you that. How you doing? Things are going well. That's called seat of your pants, baby. I told you I couldn't take a shower. That's why I had this fucking hat on. Because we had, there was water pressure issues in the neighborhood here. Oh, the water's back on. Of course it is. Smart wife. How could she be smart, Sue? She married me. Bingo. That's another guy. We got a guy named Bingo Sileo. We thought of naming our daughter Bingo Sileo. How you doing? Oh, no, I just, if Smitty was smart, he would put out 10 pounds of muscle so he can take more hits, more targets. He's going to be double team more, too. Cheerleaders kind of having a terrible job. They're poorly paid, have ridiculous expectations off the field, and are treated badly. Jesus. Yeah, you can get a full scholarship being a cheerleader. Yeah. Well, no, because if you're a rugby player, you don't. You have to get grants. Yeah, well. So Smitty doesn't matter to AJ. No more selfish. Let's see here. Chills, I bet you could check your blood pressure with that hat. Oh man. Hey, dude, I got the hat on. Believe me, I don't really like wearing hats anymore that much. I like I used to. Hurts my head. Yeah. There's a better chance of Sills getting the boot than Hurts not balling the season. Really? How's that so? When your quarterback has had the passing offense in the bottom 10 for 4 of the 5 years. Dude, I know people go down this lane, but I'll always say, by the way, I want you to know, my daughter and my wife are huge Jalen Hurts fans. Just so you know, my wife just said it, love the guy. And I think he's a caboose. Wait, you've been saying all along that Saquon Barkley is the reason why the Eagles won the Super Bowl in 24. Now you're saying AJ is? No. I'm saying Barkley put you over the top. When did you hear me say that AJ was the reason that they won the Super Bowl in 24? When did you hear me say that? I said that A.J. Brown's era of football is the best era by a wide receiver in Eagle history. Where did you hear me say they won in 24 because of A.J. Brown? How could you win because of A.J. Brown in 24 when they were 29th in passing? How's that? I'm grading being a better team by getting further in the playoffs. Yes, we will be better this year than last year. Having a new coordinator is more important than losing AJ. I'll get this. So let me ask you, in your opinion, losing Clint Kubiak in Seattle and them just hiring another guy, they're not going to take a step back, right? But you hiring another no-name offensive coordinator, you're going to be better. Got it. Well, that's our point. It's not hard to replace production of 1K between 4 guys. Really, not when your quarterback can't find 4 guys. Not when they can't find 4 guys. Idiots. Only 17,000 men have that hat, morons. True. Only 17,000 men have ever been able to wear or have a hat like this in 106 years of football. I'm one of them. Yeah, true. A new coordinator that's going to require Jalen to adjust to a scheme that is radically different from what he's playing before. I'm with you. Hey, that, by the way, they're doing everything to take the talent away from the unit, and they're making it harder for these guys, and they're older. Oh, I'm going to get to that topic in a minute here. Let's see here. Let's see. If Hurts gets the Eagles offense to 18-32, but they don't make a deep playoff run, is that good or bad this season? In the middle of the league? Look, I think if they improve this year offensively, I think that'll be a win. You're not going to win the Super Bowl every year. Guys get paid. You don't have to. Hey, for the Eagles to have success this year, you don't have to win the Super Bowl. Hurts has to get better. Guys get paid in this league because they're showing progress, not because they win. You're missing it. You think if Jalen Hurts and the Eagles have a 14-win season, you've had 2 14-win seasons under Hurts, and that seemingly isn't good enough. It's about the kid getting better now. Don't you think? This is about him getting better. If Hurts gets, yeah, we've already done that. Super Bowls don't matter. Get paid, brother. Well, that's a player's mentality, but they do matter to fans. But the players, you're thinking, hey, listen, if you're Myles Garrett, you want to win. You do, because you've done everything else. And you're going to the Hall of Fame. But you have no control over winning Super Bowls as a player. You have no control of that. The people that control that, okay, at the end of the day, is management. If you hire practice squad guys and put them on your team like the Jets, no matter if you're Sauce Gardner or not, it's not going to matter. Hurts is getting you nowhere. He's a Jordan HQ right now. Great. Hurts did his part, Sills. He does it every time. Passing game sucked last 2 years because that's untrue. Let's see here. Yo, Sills, what do you think of this? If people want to credit Sirianni winning a Super Bowl and being to another as a feather in the cap, then Hurts needs to, same respect, need to use the same measuring stick. It's crazy. So much pressure is on the defense to go far next year, yet most of the cap is spent on offense. Fangio's the team MVP. Dude, you're winning in Philadelphia because of Vic Fangio and Howie Roseman. Plain and simple. Seals, the more ways you can win, the more likely it is you can get to a Super Bowl. When you are really poor in an area like passing, your odds go down. Well, like I said, You had an historic run game in 24. If you were just average, you weren't winning the Super Bowl. Sills, I think we, the Cowboys, we're not going to be happy if Hurts threw 4,000 yards in a regular season but lost in a wild card. The Eagles will be, because that's what the changes they made. Dude, if you make all those changes, Jalen Hurts throws for $4,000, 30 touchdowns, and the offense improved from where it was, that's what they wanted. And they still win 11 games? You're not going to win the Super Bowl every year. Nobody does. If Sirianni's a good coach for winning this, we read that. AJ went 5 yards over 1,000 yards last season. Just him doing his job completely checked out. Hey, guy, I'm not going to sell you that you think your team's better without AJ Brown. It's a bonehead comment. You even know that. I remember you said we were winning 7 games in 24. Actually, I didn't say that. I said that you guys in 24 would win. Maybe I did. I think I did. I did, because I didn't think Barkley was the guy. I thought Barkley was the 25 guy. I think I did say that. Yes. Well, this year I'm on 8 games. Last year I said you'd win 11. Okay, I did. I did say that. Seals, if Hurts throws for 4K and 30 TDs with few mistakes, Manning is prodigy, and you can't let him leave the building. Correct. Imagine blaming AJ for the lack of production when most of the targets were late thrown hitches. No doubt. The quarterback can't throw on time. Never has, never will. You said 7, then change it on every. No, I changed it before the start of the season. I may have, but I don't think I had a lot of wins that year. Seals, you found out last year Barkley needs a good O-line. Yep. Seals, I think Nick wants to win because he knows that the only way he can remain the head coach. But that attitude, Jalen can't learn anything new because there has insufficient patience. They are not a patient organization. I agree. Oh, I'm not the branding god anyway. Hurts is here to stay. We'll see. Honest to God, Sills, I think we're better without AJ. If the O-line stays healthy, NFC Championship game at worst. No way. Funny how you guys, I'm sorry, I don't see this offensive coordinator doing any better job than KP. I don't know where you see that. I mean, okay, let's find out. May 19th? Sure. Last year, you guys said the same shit to me. Kevin Petullo would be an easy transition. It never clicked. But this year it will with a new scheme. You're asking this coordinator to do something even more impossible and a harder job than you asked Kevin Petullo to do a job. Think about that. I mean, you're asking Mannion to do an even more difficult job. I'm not buying that. I've never seen anything like it. Hey, let's play different. Okay? With a guy who's never had a playbook. And that's who it is. If the season turns into a dumpster fire and Sirianni gets fired, who would you want to replace him? Think of the most nameless guy you can think of. They're not hiring a coach with a resume. That goes against everything the Eagles want in that position. If KB wasn't able to scheme routes to get AJ open, what's the point of having AJ on the team? Well, what makes you think that Sean Mannion's going to scheme him up any better? At least Petula was in the building. Where are you getting this with this Mannion guy? It's wishful thinking. This guy's never done this. So wait, let me ask you this. Here. My wife's a coach. Okay? She coaches rugby. So if you've never coached players before and you're drawing up plays and you've never done that, and you want to put kids in position to win, you think you're successful in your first year? Never having done it? How would you know where to put the players in position to win when you've never called it? And by the way, I saw Kevin Petula taking victory laps about how instrumental he was in building the Eagle offense. Shane Steichen was a coordinator with the Chargers, guy. Shane Steichen wasn't a first-year play caller. I see RC down there. Shane did it, right? Shane was a play caller. People would rather be ignorant and live in denial than face the truth. That's why they love Mannion so much. Mannion, dude, this guy may turn out to... Hey, by the way, they don't have patience to develop coordinators. I mean, they don't. They don't have... Who have they developed? Who have they developed, that coordinator? The real answer on Mannion is that we have to wait and see. Yes, that's true. That's true. So, again, but that answer, hey, by the way, there's a first-year play caller. Where is that guy? Is he in Washington? Why would you put a first-year play? Hey, James, is there a first-year play caller in Washington as the OC? Why? Why would they do that? You got a first-year play caller with a guy you're trying to develop in Jaden Daniels. That makes no sense. The real answer on Mannion is that we have to wait. Yes. What Steichen did was drive the race car. KP was given the race car with a broken axle and asked to do the same. Yes. Correct. Yes. Get this. We have developed 3 coordinators into head coaches, by the way. 2 of them, or one of them has already been fired, which basically was a caboose, meaning in Philly, and Jonathan Gannon. Shane, I think, is a really good coach. And Kellen Moore did the most important thing. You know what that was? He took the ball out of the hands of the quarterback and never developed Hurts. And said, I want a job. You know what? Think about what he just said here. Kellen Moore got a job getting away from Hurts and going to Barkley and running the ball. That's how he got the Saints job. And by the way, let's see here. 3 and counting. And Desai fired. KP fired. Brian Johnson fired. Who else was fired? Patricia fired. Shit, Nick got fired as an OC. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and counting. Until Hurts can prove to me that he can miss the playoffs in his career and not go to a Super Bowl every other year, then we won't catch me telling Jalen Hurts to play better. Well, guess what? Your organization is. Okay, wait a minute. Let's go back to that. Where's the extension? If this guy's so successful and so great, why aren't the Eagles running to the table to extend him? And don't give me that shit about the other guys. According to you, he hasn't won or missed the playoffs. Some of these other guys have not been to a conference championship game. If he's so great and so wonderful, why isn't he got a contract extension? That's so my wife, first stupid thing she said. So let me get this right. I've been to 2 Super Bowls, and in 4 years, I'm 50 and 18. You mean to tell me I told my agent I don't want any more money? She thinks Jalen may not want to stay here and sign an extension. By that logic, we can also say Steichen got a job by putting the ball and decision-making into Hurts. You conveniently left that out. No, because he's the best coach he's had that utilized his skill set. That's why Daniel Jones just got a contract extension too, because he plays like Hurts. Well, that's something to think about, Kim, because Nicole Lynn, his agent, is not going to let the Eagles run him out of town. Well, that's yet to be determined. At least 6. Hurts may not want the extension in her eyes. They're not going in his direction. What's the rush? He's got a couple years left. Eagles on their own timelines, not Sills. Yeah, that's right. That's what most teams do. Guys with that kind of success, they don't extend. No, I don't buy that. So you're going to pass up a $250 million signing bonus. They didn't. They told him they're not doing it because they don't believe he can do this. Mannion can't be. Well, I think that's a take, not a fact. Yeah. No way. He's got no guarantees next year. Hold on here. Kim is right. Get it, Mrs. Sills. Oh, if the Eagles could fire Hurts, they would. Yes. 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 They'd rather have Brock Purdy quarterbacking that team right now. Right. They got to get rid of Hurts. So what they're doing is they're building the football team for someone else. For the guy they really want. That's right. They're building the football team. Okay, well, here, James. My wife was a producer of my show for 20 years. So she knows what she's doing. I can't fuck with her. Man, you can't be worse than KP. How do you know that? Hey, maybe Nicole is doing the same thing. You know what? Yes, she's a woman. That's right. Listen here, James. Here's this. I hadn't thought of it either. Maybe what they're doing also is this. You want to build this offense this way? No problem. I'll tell you what, he's not going to sit around and sign a contract for them going in a different direction. Why would he? It's a great take. You know, Spike Eskin had a wild take, but think about Nicole. Why would Nicole want Jalen to be in a position of failure? And they're taking AJ away from him, right? They're doing all these other things. All these coaches. How about getting a head coach play caller once in his life where he can have a stable opportunity? Give me a break. Purdy without Shanahan isn't starting on 40% of the teams in this league. You're a fucking idiot. Mrs. Sill should be the host. How can we get Mrs. Sill on? She is the host. Or can we replace Mark so we can get these numbers? How you doing, Marsh? Marsh, I ain't got to worry about shit. Believe me. We're kicking ass in all three of our shows. If someone in the chat had this take, Sills would have laughed at it. Listen, hang on for a minute. You think Nicole Lynn is going to let Jalen Hurts take the fall for this? If this thing shits the bed? No fucking way. Howie already knows what he has in Hurts. This year is about who fits going forward with a new quarterback in a West Coast scheme starting in 2027. The Eagles are hedging their bets on Hurts this year. Yes. Yes. They want to see if he could succeed. If not, they have the roster set up for whoever. It's plug and play, right, Jason? It's plug and play. What evidence do you have he's going to shit the bed? The only evidence I have is that every first-year play caller you've hired has sucked. If Hurts requests a trade, I think that's the most peaceful way out next season, where everyone wins. Dude, if you put Jalen Hurts in, say Lamar leaves, he's not happy in Baltimore. You put him in Baltimore, Houston, you put him in Minnesota, he'll win there. Those are good rosters. Okay. How about this? See this topic? How many people believe that the Eagles, the front office, is all in on Hurts? How many people believe that they're all in on Jalen Hurts? How many people believe that? Nope. Nope. He believes that changing the offense from what they did and adding all these new pass catchers and getting away from his skill set, he believes 100% in on Hurts. Hell no. Okay. Give me one move that makes you think they're all in on Hurts. One move. Give me one move. Play caller? No. Firing a Stoutland? No. Give me one move. Lemon? That's a downgrade. Here, let's go to the second topic here. By the way, Angelo's going to join us. He'll join us at the bottom of the hour. Okay. This coming season, Are you more concerned about life without Jeff Stoutland or life with Sean Mannion? Downgrade? Yeah. Lemon's not going to replace Devontae Smith at 2. And Devontae's not going to replace AJ at 1. Yeah. What are you seeing? Without Stout. Okay. Without Stoutland. Okay. Offense is old as shit. Eagles went offense heavy because a lot of guys are on their way out. Correct. That's why it's a topic. Pick one. They're restructuring the entire offense. Get this. Get this, Kim. They restructured the entire offense and didn't touch 1 second of the defense because the defense is getting better. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they're going to go into a total passing game. Get this. They have not touched, even though last year, the defense, if this happens this year, this will be the 3rd year in a row that the defense was better than the offense. If the offense does not play better. And they spend over $200 million on the offensive side. The Eagles this year will spend the least amount of money on defense. And it's the better unit. Because you know why? It's the better coached unit. Hey, Kim, they want you to come over here and come on the air. She's not naked. Nobody runs naked around this house. Yeah. Nobody runs around naked around this bitch. She's a perfect wife for Sills. Oh, really? Trust me. Okay. Probably is. We're not passing the ball over the middle of the field. Yeah, like ever. Why? Because you haven't. Now you are, right? Okay. What did AJ do last year that was impossible to replace? Hey, Brandon, so you really believe you're going to be a better football team without that guy? You hear this shit? These guys think they're going to be a better football team without AJ Brown and a rookie wideout. Yeah, we'll see. I'm not saying Lemon is going to be better than AJ. I'm saying he's different. Yeah, he's 5'11", 192. That's right. Jules on the rugby team's 5'11", 192. She's actually very hot. Beautiful. Need big sills on ESPN or Fox. Yeah, I don't think so. I'd have to be a pinko like my wife. I already done that, right? Already been there, done that. My wife was a producer at Fox Sports. No, you weren't fired from that job. I got us fired. Thank you very much. That's my PR rep. I've been fired from every organization from East Coast to West Coast. Yeah, you know that it's bad when she gets fired because I did. Seals, remember when Kellen Moore was the head coach of the Cowboys? I think he was the offensive coordinator. Dak P was a turnover machine. I don't recall he switched to more of a heavy run game. Dude, I mean, they had the number 1 passing attack and the number 1 offense 2 times in Dallas. Do you think it was a hindrance to them always thinking yeah, a little bit. I do. Yeah. Sills, I'd bet Manny gets demoted by the end of the bye week. We'll see. Hey, May 19th? I don't know. Here, I'll answer my question that I asked you. More concerned with life without Jeff Stoutland or life without Mannion? Well, here, this is going to roll into the next topic. Listen here, I heard Zander talking about the defense and how good the defense and the personnel look on that side. He's not wrong there. And I do think Jonathan Grenard, albeit I think that, listen, I don't think he's that much better than Jalen Phillips. I don't. I think he's a good football player. I think it's a wash. I think you're going to get the same production from that kid that you got from Phillips. You're probably going to get around 8.5 sacks, something in that room, and he's going to be a productive guy. He's not head and heels above Jalen Phillips. Now, and plus, by the way, you still paid the guy $27 million. Wasn't like you went, all right, well, if you think he's that much better, okay. It doesn't matter how good your personnel is on that side. If Sean Mannion sucks as a coordinator and you're constantly in 3 and out and you're 5th in penalties on offense again, it's not going to matter. It's the Chip Kelly effect. You're going to run your guys into the blue tent. And you're not deep. Your offense this year is going to tell you how good your football team will be this year on both sides of the ball. If you're constantly going like this, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, by the time you got to the 49er game, a JV team beat you. There were 5 dudes that were walking the street in that 49er playoff game that beat you. And your defense was out of gas. Why? Poor field position, 3 and out. And you were 5th. You were 5th in the league in penalties. Penalties, bad field position, and you were the 2nd worst team and 3 and outs. I don't give a shit what personnel you have on defense. If your offense doesn't improve on 1st and 2nd down, your defense is not going to just... What was the top thing that happened in 24? You had an iconic run game. You had a 2,000-yard rusher. You were winning 1st and 2nd down every fucking series. You were putting your defense in great position, field position-wise. Common sense. What happened to Chip? Chip thought he was going to run those 80 plays, 85 plays. By year 3, the defense was in the blue tent. So remember you said the same thing going into 24, added a couple Ricky special teams, Zach Bond. Hey, okay, RC, you don't have the same roster. Dude, you want me to start quoting shit that I said about 22, 23, and 25? I could do it too. Let's remember that everybody got an extra week of rest before the game versus the Niners. Yeah, because they sat them. Same players, maybe $5 million cheaper, but cost 2 third-rounders. Not sure that's a bargain. Hey, dude, I don't think he's a bad player. There's no doubt Grenard's a good addition. Him and Woolen. It won't matter. If you don't fix 1st and 2nd down and you're in 3rd and long again, you'll have the same result with another play caller who's a first-year guy. Dude, Sean Mannion can't fix 1st and 2nd down if your players don't execute. He can do this. He could draw up a play all he wants. If it's getting stymied at the line of scrimmage and you're 3rd and 8, the game's over. And 3rd and 8 does what? Do you know what you were a year ago offensively? You were like a ballet routine. 1, 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, kick. You lose field position and time of possession. And if you're ahead, you know why you lost the Cowboy game? Second half, 1, 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, kick. You surrender possessions to allow teams to throw themselves back into a game. That's what happened. You're up 21-0 on the Cowboys. How'd you lose that game? 1, 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, kick. There's 3 possessions the Cowboys got to get back in the game. You think Lemon goes for over 800 yards? He better. Look, I'll say it again. I voted for the guy for the Biletnikoff Award. And I think I got that here. I think maybe I still got my vote. I think I still got my vote here. Let me see here. Let's see here. Dan Sileo. Hold on. I think I still have it. Here it is right here. Okay. So here's the Biletnikoff Selection Committee. Here's Biletnikoff Selection Committee. It may even say JAKIB. Let's see. Does it say JAKIB? Is this the one that says JAKIB? Or the Dan Sileo show? I may not have changed it. Hold on here. I know I'm on this. There's only 70, I think. And I did vote for Lemon. And the kid from Ohio State, second. Let's see here. Dave Portnoy's on this. Let's see. Here. Dan Sileo right there. I got Dan Sileo show. That should have said JAKIB, but this is the Biletnikoff Selection Committee. I voted for the kid. I may have put that kid Stowers on there too, because I thought he was good last year. Like I said, though, I vote for all awards, including the Heisman. Some of these athletes are so entitled that they think they can do whatever they want. I'm glad Rice got humbled. Enjoyed the 30 days in the can, Rice. Did they put that kid, Rashid Rice, in the can? Well, that hurts the... Hey, by the way, Rashid Rice going to jail? A.J. Brown to Kansas City sounds like a deal now. Sileo Portnoy votes. That award just lost a lot of credit, prestige. Well, I vote on all of them. So then every single college football award and All-American team. I vote because I'm a member of the FWAA, Football Writers Association of America. And I can promise you I'm fair in my votes. I even voted for Tebow. Is Diana Rossini on that? Let me look. Don't say anything, Kim. Hold on. Don't say anything. Yeah, let's see. I got more of a problem with Vrabel. Let's see here. Rossini. Is she on this? She is. She is on it. Good call there, Kimbo. Yes. Don't you have to know how to write to be part of the FWAA? I went to Miami, guy. My wife said my reading skills, she knows too. She laughs every time I'm reading my chats in here. No, you see, real, the only thing I needed to be was a baller. Right now, I think the Big Ten Conference is gaining popularity again. I think the Big Ten has really had a great 4-year run, 4 straight seasons. Okay, four great seasons of Big Ten ball. By the way, Angelo's going to call us in he's going to jump in here in a couple minutes. What the fuck does Dave Portnoy know about football? Stick to pizza. I happen to agree. Stick to fucking pizza. By the way, yeah, I mean, my wife can't. The greatest pizza place in the history of pizza is Colony Pizza, and everyone on the planet loves Colony Pizza. My wife doesn't really like it. My grandpa loved it. So AJ had 1,000 yards last year. Off of I can fill 800 with a rookie, plus a pick. What's the problem? I see. So you believe that Mekhi Lemon will replace A.J. Brown. Did you hear this one? You think a rookie who was playing wide receiver against Rutgers is going to replace A.J. Brown? Solid take. This defense better be ready to roll September 13th. Absolutely. No doubt. And by the way, like I said, I don't give a shit if you have the 2024 Eagle defense. If you got a football team on offense that's the worst football team in the league in third down, you're not going to last. USC's best time was Caleb Williams. USC has not been relevant in 20 years. Can you name me a defender from Southern Cal in the last 20 years that is a superstar NFL player? Like when they had Palomalu, Seau, all them dudes? Can you name me a guy from Southern Cal? Hufanga, not bad. Hufanga's not bad. He's an all-pro guy. I'll give you Hufanga. But outside of Hufanga, hey, by the way, Hufanga didn't play for what's his name. He didn't play for Lincoln Riley. That Lincoln Riley guy was talked about on being the Eagle head football coach at one time. And that guy's been a train wreck at Southern Cal. All right. Boy, I'll tell you. I'm going to start calling Angelo Cataldi the nose. There's a mafia guy I knew in New York. Okay? But he was Six Fingers Luigi. This guy here is like the nose. He said this about Rob Thompson. He was talking about Daryl Morey. And also, too, making comments about AJ. Without further ado, the man, the legend from WIP, our friend Angelo Cataldi joins us now. Angelo, boy, that is what you call a confident smirk, my friends.
I'd just like to say that introduction is the most accurate you have ever given me, Dan, and long overdue, quite frankly. Yes, I have been on a bit of a run lately, haven't I?
You definitely have. So let's start it out first and foremost here with let's go in chronological order. Daryl Morey getting blown out as head of basketball operations with the Sixers.
What a shock. I mean, you want how to waste $60 million for 6 years? Bring in a guy who hasn't won squat and give him a team that a lot of people think maybe one or two moves away. Maury will get us over the top. Yeah, he got us over the top. Nothing. 6 years. Dave, I got to take a second here to talk about a columnist at the Philadelphia Inquirer, David Murphy. All right, because right now I'm planning after this appearance call 911 and report a burglary in progress. Because if he's getting paid to write garbage, like last week he wrote, the guy sat down after Maury got fired. He went, Maury was the right guy for the Sixers, but now he's not anymore. He came here, they hadn't won made it to an Eastern Conference final. 6 years later, with a team that sacrificed 4 seasons to get Embiid and Ben Simmons. He's like, four seasons we gave away. 6 years after the guy's here, we still haven't been to an Eastern Conference final. And there's a media guy in this town saying he was the right guy. How are you the right guy if you didn't do a damn thing that got your team any further? Isn't this about winning, Dan? Dan, when did it stop being about winning? What? And that's the thing. So you go, well, yeah, but otherwise he was charming. No, he was quite the contrary. He very rarely came out and said anything publicly. I did cite in my blog this week the last news coverage he ever held. Is in that conference, he said, in this game, very philosophical. In this game, what you need more good players than bad players. He said that. They gathered the media around 6 years into his tenure for him to drop that information nugget on the guy. Nobody. Dan, this is 2 weeks now, a week and a half since he left. Not a discouraging word yet about a guy who completely blew it. 6 years. Blew it in every regard. Yeah, he did draft Maxey. That's about it. Edgecombe, yeah, but they won a lottery. He kind of got lucky with that. Otherwise, James Harden, how'd that go? Jesus, he's two teams beyond here now. Dan, I just got to say, Daryl Morey is one of the top 5 executive busts in Philadelphia history. And nobody in this damn city will say it. Nobody. They're all a bunch of pussies. I sound like an old man screaming in the wind. I know. But it's a fact. If you had a 6-year tenure like Morey did, you would get crucified when you got fired.
Oh, yeah.
Not a word.
Man.
He was the right guy at the time. Yeah, really? Oh, where's the rings? I can't find the rings.
How about getting to a conference championship game?
Yes.
I mean, that
nothing. It's been 25 years since they've been to a conference championship.
Iverson's time,
25 years since Iverson.
Man.
And we're still waiting all these years of sacrifice, the process. We got nothing. And now he's gone.
Does Josh Harris, this guy here who is concerned about his Commanders now, I mean, where's his place in this right now with the Sixers? This was about the process. So now we have Bob Myers that's going to make decisions. The guy was making decisions for the Golden State Warriors. I like Bob Myers.
Me too.
You.
All right. Yeah. I'm really predictable about hires like this, Dan. If the guy's actually won something, and in his case, 4 times.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I'm inclined to believe he could help my team win too. Right? It's crazy how I know the Eagles, they'd rather get an offensive coordinator who never called plays. So that'll work. That's a great play. No, I like a guy who did it and succeeded at it. So yeah, I'll acknowledge that. And I guess I got to give Harris credit for making that hire. But once again, at the news conference where they got rid of Morey, he is not on the same wavelength as anybody in this town. He is just, Dan, he just can't relate to the responsibility of a sports owner in Philadelphia because it's different than most other cities. A lot of other cities, the fans don't even bring up the owner's name. Never comes up. In our city, you are a main player. We know who you are. We follow you closely. We expect you to talk to us, and we hold you accountable in good times and bad. And the fact is, in 3 different teams, in 3 different sports that he owns, he's had 29 opportunities to win a championship, and he's 0 for 29. And I'm not that worried about the Commanders as long as he's the owner. He doesn't prioritize winning the way a great owner does. He doesn't. He prioritizes earning. He making more money for himself. There's however many $1 billion he has, it is not enough yet. So he's got to keep getting more. That's why he's got the new arena coming out.
Arenas and stadiums are his priority, not winning, right?
Exactly. 100%. But Bob Myers, I will say, he suddenly got a glimmer of hope. Because if Myers is truly going to be the last word on this stuff, and Myers has had success elsewhere and came across very effectively at the news conference, then you know what? Maybe he can overcome having a guy who doesn't give a damn about winning as his boss and a guy who's playing center right now who can't stand up straight.
Do you think that Nick Nurse's job was saved because Myers is the basketball guy in the building and said, hey, you know 100%. What? Because Josh Harris would have made a knee-jerk reaction and blew everyone out. And you got Bob Myers going, no, he's not the issue. The issue was the guy above him. You think he saved his gig?
Yeah, I hope he did because I had no problem with that. You have not heard me ripping Nick Nurse.
No, I agree.
Nick Nurse is a solid coach. He's a good coach.
Yeah.
But he's been handed ingredients that don't fit together at all. Right? And they just don't. And there's an albatross in the organization now, and that's Embiid.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to win. He will not win for you. He will cause drama. He will act for the cameras. He will do all that posturing that he did in the round with the Knicks. All posturing. Couldn't play one game. Next game, he played 35 minutes. Can you play or can't you play? There's no middle ground. You either got to play the whole game or you're not going to play at all.
Angelo, in 10 years, he's averaged 49 games a year.
Yeah. And do you know how much they still owe him? Over $200 million.
That's crazy.
Thank you, Daryl Morey. $200 million for him. Another $100 million for Paul George. Good luck with your salary cap. So Bob Myers, whoever he hires to make those decisions, is going to have to be a magician because of what Morey left. But you know what? He was the right guy at the time. Oh, he was a great. Oh.
How about what Embiid said, too, after when he had his kid? By the way, Angelo, for me, putting his kid up there, I was like, what did he bring? Like a deflection shield so that you didn't think they were going to ask you hard questions? I thought that was lame. And then I heard the most incredible thing I ever heard an athlete say. He goes like this. Hey, we had a very successful season because I ended the season not hurt. And could you imagine Jalen Hurts after the Niner game going, we had a really good year. I didn't get hurt.
Yeah. I mean, no, he's not a winner.
Not plugged into that.
Do you understand that that's the mindset of a loser? He's a loser. I'm not even going to call him a non-winner. He's a loser. He cares about himself. He cares about what he's doing. And he wins in that case. He's going to end up with $500 million for winning nothing. Nothing. And you know, the fact of the matter is he's almost not even, you can't even trade him now.
No.
He still puts numbers on. He still is one of the best centers in the game. But nobody's going to give him the kind of money he is when he only plays 29 games a year.
Yeah.
You can't do it. And the fact that you would decree any sort of a success in Philadelphia when you were not at a parade, that is disgraceful. It tells me 12 years he's been in this town and Embiid still does not understand where he works.
That's right. He just doesn't get it. All right, let's go to and just drop a butt now. Go to the Phillies. I mean, they blow out Rob Thompson, and all of a sudden, Don Mattingly is got this baseball team looking like I think what people thought this roster might look like. I mean, it was the right move, right? Getting rid of Rob.
Yeah, it was about a month too late. They should have never brought Thompson back. Thompson didn't earn another year. And then they actually tacked on an additional year. So they're going to be paying Thompson 2 years. With that roster there, he was 9-19. Yeah, that's almost impossible. With that rotation, 9-19, he leaves. Not a discouraging word in Philadelphia. Nobody said it was time to get rid of him. Mattingly comes in and far better day-to-day manager, far better tactician, far less locked in on numbers, far more responsive to questions. You get answers from Mattingly. You got boilerplate when you were listening to Thompson. And Mattingly is 15-4 since he took over. And you see a lot of cases where a coach or a manager gets fired in the season. You very rarely see a 180 the minute it happens.
Oh, yeah.
To this day, to this minute, nobody has written, and I have not heard anywhere anybody saying Rob Thompson sucked, because he did. They loved him. He was a nice man, but he sucked as a manager. And there's no more numbers you need to see than 9-19 and 15-4. There's nothing else to say. He was putrid. That's why they waited till he's 60 before he got a managing job, because he didn't know how to do it. So, yes, the Phillies did the right thing. It took longer than it should have.
How about this? Do you think Mattingly now has managed himself into keeping that gig, or do you look at Clearwater and go, Alex Cora will be the manager next year?
Well, that's a great scenario, because the answer to that question is what happens the rest of the season, because Cora's already said he wouldn't come back. Cora would be Dombrowski's first choice, unless Mattingly if he keeps going 15-4, he's going to get a statue, right? They're gonna put a statue of him next to Harry Callis. Not in Harry the K's, though. They took that away. But anyway, the bottom line is he will win this job if he shows that what he's doing right now he can keep doing. And if he doesn't, then Cora is in the wings, and Dombrowski loves him, and Cora is a great manager. Mattingly, I would say, is a good manager. Cora is a great manager.
Yeah, agreed, 100% here. All right, so I want to go over now to some questions here with the Eagles here. Is your biggest concern, by the way, folks, I think Angelo may be putting an addendum to the new win total here after I read
not an addendum.
RB.com. Before I get there, though, for you, are you more concerned this year, life without Jeff Stoutland or life with Sean Mannion?
Well, it's kind of both. I guess I would say Mannion only because I saw what bad play calling did to the team last year. All right. But both are huge. Because the biggest fear you would have is that the offensive line won't improve over its poor year last year, a lot of which is being attributed to players playing with injuries. Dickerson, Juergens, those guys, you got to figure, well, they'll play a lot better now they're healthy. I hope so. But without Stoutland, really, that's hard to believe. And Mannion, we have no one in the organization. You understand? They're talking, a system. Wow. Hurts is really locking in on this. This is going great. All bullshit. All right. Only thing that matters there is that when it comes time to call plays, that he calls plays that are a hell of a lot better than the garbage being sent in last year with Kevin Petula. If he does that, they're going to be better. Now, I got to get this out now because people are going to, I hate to be seen as a flip-flopper. Oh, that's horrible. But I did predict a losing season, and then I saw the new schedule. And here's what I didn't account for. And I am still amazed by this. The NFL uses a weighted schedule construction in which if you won your division, if you had the best records, you get the tougher opponents. I don't know how it happened, but the Eagles have the easiest schedule of the teams in the NFC East, even though they just won the division. They have the 7th easiest schedule in the National Football League.
And the Cowboys have one of the toughest.
Yeah. And I look at it, I go, well, it's going to be tougher because the Giants have a coach now. All right. The Giants will be better. You got to assume Washington will be better now because they got the kid back, quarterback, and hopefully that's going to help.
Jaden Daniels.
And the Cowboys still suck. The hell with Cowboys. But the fact of the matter is, I can't stick with 8 and 9. I can't. I looked the schedule over and over again. I went, no, it's better than that. Although it's funny, on Bleeding Green Nation, which is a very good Eagles website, all right, they did a fascinating thing. I'd never seen this done before. They took the 17 games and they went to 17 people who cover the opponents to have them predict who will win that game this year. And the Eagles finished 8 and 9.
That's what I have them.
You do? I know you do. But I looked at it and I went, no, they're going to win 10. They might sneak into the playoffs. They won't satisfy the fans who have a high standard now with the 2 Super Bowl wins. But they're not going to finish with 8. They're going to finish with 10.
So if
that's my new thing, and I'm pretty. And by the way, I know I think I speak for the whole city. We are all beyond devastated that somehow Jalen Hurts did not make it to the wedding of AJ Brown, and people are the media's going crazy. Oh my God, does this mean they're not teammates anymore, and they're just waiting for the June 1st deadline to trade Brown?
You'd think.
Yeah. You just got that word, did you? Did it finally reach you? Yeah. They're not teammates anymore. The trade's already done. It's for a 1. What I'm hearing is just for a 1 straight up. First round pick, 2028. Not even this current year, 2028, first round pick. That's what the word is.
I don't get that either here. 2028. You don't get any relief until 2 years from now. I don't get it. Hey, by the way, your illustrious station had a fabulous poll, and they did ask the question. Yeah, they asked the question, and I kind of started my show out with it here, and I thought it was a little lame, but I added more context to it, of course, because they don't. And I would throw this in here. They said, "Does Jalen Hurts is the reason that AJ Brown is leaving? Is it because of Jalen Hurts?" Now, I, like you, add complete context. So you know what I did? I said, no. Does AJ Brown want to leave because of Hurts or Nick Sirianni? So you have to add that because you know why? Okay. Nick is still the coach, and he comes on the morning show. So what you got to be careful at is accessibility. So I know the game they're playing. Why do you think AJ doesn't want to be here? It can't be the money, Angelo. It can't be the wins. Is it Hurts or is it Nick?
I think AJ Brown saw how nicely Mike Vrabel treated Diana Rossini, and he'd like to be treated that way in New England as well. Well, not exactly that way. Like, I don't think he wants.
Wait a minute. He's a side piece?
No, not holding hands and getting in hot tubs, stuff like that. Just no. The fact of the matter is, look, here's the way I read it, and I try to read athletes. I've been doing it for 50 years. Jalen Hurts would embrace AJ Brown or anyone else on this team that he thought could help him get back to the Super Bowl. He would. He is committed to success. I really believe that. Sirianni, not so much. Sirianni knows he's a pretender, and if a guy's going to rock his boat long enough, he's going to want to bail. All right. They're going to hate that AJ Brown's not there next season. They're going to hate it. I'm telling you, they don't realize now how great he was, how much better he made Devontae Smith by being on the field. They haven't calculated that accurately, but he's a massive pain in the ass. And he just wore out his welcome. He's going to do that. He's like a piece of fish, right? You put it on the counter. It's nice. It smells like. Then a couple of hours later, it starts. And
little grimy.
Yeah. And by the end of a day, it stinks to high heaven. You can't wait to get rid of it. And Brown, that happened with him in Tennessee, and now it's happened here in Philadelphia. And if he lasts long enough, it'll happen in New England too. But
Wait a
he's
minute.
gone.
Could you apply that to Nick? That Nick's like a fish out of water late in the day?
Right.
Is that what Nick is too here? Because Angelo, here's the next question. If you're 50-18 in the last 4 years, you've been to 2 Super Bowls like the legendary Nick Sirianni has.
Yeah.
How come he's so looked down on? Is it Howie taking the shine away from him? Because you got to admit, if the team does well, Howie gets the roses. If the team sucks, Nick gets all the heat. How do you see why is he looked at in the light and how people see Nick Sirianni?
Well, this may be too simplistic for you, Dan, but I think it's because Howie Roseman knows how to do his job and Nick doesn't. And we could see that. And we could see that somehow Howie put together enough of a team that was Nick-proof, at least in the championship year. They were Nick-proof. He didn't have to call plays on either side of the ball. He just had to stand there and act a fool during the games, and he did. And he won a championship. But Roseman's a great GM. Anybody who doesn't think that doesn't really understand sports.
He is.
Sirianni is a babbling idiot. And if you watch him on any sort of a regular basis, you will see this. If you have the opportunity I had to actually speak to him one-on-one for 3 years, you will find 50-18, the most amazing stat in the history of sports, because this is not a guy who's going to win 32 more games than he loses. He's just not that smart.
You think he's the most overrated coach in Eagle history? I mean, in Philadelphia sports history.
Yeah. To be determined. Right now, he's still liked, not loved. Right? Most guys, if you're 50-18 in Philadelphia,
they're building statues of you.
Oh my God, you're being invited to weddings and you're throwing the garter belt. You're the main guy. But no, he's I'm on a wedding thing now with the AJ's nuptials.
No, I got it here. I'm like,
but anyway,
I'm taking 2 that Hurts didn't show up or was a groomsmaid.
Nick, people see that Nick is not all that his record indicates he is, but he won a championship. He's starting his 6th season here. That's a long tenure for a coach of the Eagles. And, they'd like to believe that with the right people around him, he won't screw it up again. But, boy, did he blow it last year with Patullo. And I think he's got a chance to do the same thing with Mannion. Mannion, no one knows. We don't know. When the first series, the Eagles are on the field, all we're going to be thinking is, let's see what plays he calls. How's he going to do this? And when he calls that first play, it'll be the first play he's ever called on a Super Bowl contender. First play. Good luck. I hope he's good at it.
Man, I you know what? And Angela, what I don't get is for Jalen Hurts here, we were talking about this earlier. This contract extension that hasn't come, if you're that accomplished, I'm going to throw a Spike Eskin type like theory, that means it's whacked. How about this? Okay. I'm going to throw this out at you here. Why would Jalen Hurts want to stay in a situation where you're constantly changing the offensive coordinator year in and year out, and all of a sudden you're getting away from my skill set? You want to go to a spread offense. You basically want Brock Purdy in here, not what we've done and how we've won. Why would I want to stay here? I'm going to pick my team and go back to Houston. And I'm going to go on that Texans team, and I can win a Super Bowl there with that Texans defense. Yep. And I'm going to go there and win there. Could that be a possibility and why we're not seeing? Because, hey, as accomplished as he is, why wouldn't there be a contract extension out there for him?
I don't know. How many years? What does he have left? Do you know?
He's got 3 years left, but again, he's eligible right now for an extension. Sure. But here's the beauty thing. Next year, post June 1, they can get out from this deal. It would only be like a $4 million salary cap hit. And then the following year, they would save money. So this
All
coming
right, so
season here, and he's got very little guarantees next year.
so let's say that they weasel their way out of the deal. Who's your quarterback? Tanner McKee? Who's your quarterback? Who you got?
I don't know.
You got somebody with more talent than Jalen Hurts? 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 championship? You really
You
want
have
to do
to
that?
have a transition plan. But you tell me, how are they hiring all these guys? They're going to Sean Mannion, a West Coast offensive guy. They've got 5 new pass catchers. They drafted in the draft. Their first 2 picks were wide receivers, theoretically. Okay, they're losing AJ because AJ doesn't really fit a West Coast style. Plus, he's a hammerhead and he wants out anyway. They're moving completely away from him. Why in the world?
Why?
Why would the world?
Why
put
do you have
Jalen
that?
Carter?
If you don't have the players to fit a West Coast style, here's a thought: change the style. The
Yeah,
great
back to him.
coaches, the great coaches, the great general managers, the great roster builders are people who can adjust the talent and the scheme so that it fits. So if you happen to be enamored with the West Coast offense, but you got a quarterback who's great with the deep ball, great with his feet, great in ways that the West Coast doesn't exploit, then guess what? Get rid of it and design an offense that accentuates what he does well. They didn't do that last year. They didn't come close to doing it. And frankly, if they don't do it this year, he has every right to say, screw you guys. I need a new city. I need new people. I need a new start. And I would endorse that. But I don't want it to happen as an Eagles fan. No, because that there is as good an Eagles quarterback as we've ever had. And you let him go, that's a winner. Wait till you see what's next. Is he a bozo like Donovan McNabb? Goofy faces and dumb remarks, puking in the biggest games. You want that again? You might be able to get that again if you want that. Or Carson Wentz, you know? Oh, Mr. Passive Aggressive. You're bringing in somebody to compete with me? I won't compete anymore. I want out. No, this guy is your best bet. And he will be in 3 years. So, proceed with caution.
2 last questions. I want to circle back to your Phillies for a second. Is Kyle Schwarber is he now the face of the Phillies and not Bryce Harper?
That's a great point. Yes.
I looked at the numbers. He's one of the very few guys with 20 home runs and 45 ball games that we've seen. He's on pace for 70 home runs. Has he become the face of the Phillies and not Harper?
Dan, that is tremendous insight. I may be stealing that for a future blog column because you're right. You're right. First of all, he fits the image better. He's a little heavy set, power guy,
relatable,
grimy, but power and excitement. And he does a lot of other things that you wouldn't expect. He go from first to third on a single. He does some stuff that you don't see, but it's a little under the radar. But he's got some of that too. Yeah, he is. For 2 reasons. One is because he fits the role great in Philadelphia. And 2 is lately, not so much with Harper. Harper, not so much. All that whining over being told he wasn't elite last season, all that stuff. That's not a Philadelphia sports hero. That normally you laugh at that. See, a Philadelphia sports hero says, oh, that's what he thinks, does he? Okay. That's good. Let me check. Oh, wow. He still paid me $33 million last year. That's very generous of the man. Thank Dave Dombrowski for me. Dan, you're 100% right, and it never occurred to me till you said it. This is, for at least the next couple of years, this is Kyle Schwarber's team because he fits. And, oh, by the way, he's also smashing the ball, crushing the ball right now. It's insane to watch. It's fun. I love watching him when he's hit.
It occurred to me on how you cover Philly. How important is it that he's one of the people, or has characteristics? If you're an athlete in Philly, for you, it seems, correct me if I'm wrong, you could be the greatest player, the greatest athlete of all time. You could be so great, but yet if you don't fit in and you look like the guy when You know that guy that walks into the room, all of a sudden the room goes quiet and everyone goes down because he makes the room uncool. It looks like to me like, an athlete comes into the city, and if he makes the city seem uncool to him, and it's uncool to be around him, that's not a relatable guy to your fan base. That again, because you talk to your fans, you don't answer to the organizations. How important is that for you to cover an athlete feeling?
You see, in this case, I'm going to give Schwarber more credit for emerging as the face of the team than Harper discredit for moving more into the background, just because Schwarber fits the role so much better. Harper has not been the biggest reason why they haven't won anything since he got here with that big contract. He's put up some serious numbers and hit some big home runs and got some big hits and big spots. He's been a very, very good player, worth the money they paid to him. But Schwarber, there's something different about Schwarber. He's the guy now. When I'm watching a game, I'm looking forward to Schwarber coming out way more than I am Harper.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but, it's nice to have two guys who are that good. But I'm going to give Schwarber more credit. He just fits. And he enjoys the role. He does not blanch at the first sign of attention. Oh, my God, pressure now. I'm going to choke. He didn't do that. He revels in it.
There was a guy that you had, and here he is right here on my desk, and he'll always be on my desk, Dick Allen. Dick Allen signed me. He signed this baseball for me back in the day, and I keep it right here. He's one of my favorite ball players of all time. Personalities on that Phillies team matter to you, don't they?
They do.
I mean, Schmidt didn't really have the personality.
Nope.
I don't even know if Luzinski did, but I mean,
kinda
a little bit, a little bit more maybe than Mike Schmidt. But you see that with Kyle Schwarber here.
100% right, and that's really a big part of it. It's do you fit? Schmidt never did. You know who does? You know who's beloved? John Kruk.
Yeah,
who same kind of guy in a way as Schwarber, and he's good on TV, but he's just Phillies. You look at him, and you go Phillies, heavy, little, smart ass type, but one hell of a baseball player. Those are the guys that our city gravitates to more than a great pitcher, Cole Hamels. Cole Hamels was a great pitcher. He won them 2008. He was the MVP of the World Series, but a little too smooth, a little too good looking. We don't want anybody that good looking. You got to have a little jowl. You got to have something going on.
You got to have something relatable, right? Is that right?
Personality, to answer your question, personality probably means more in Philadelphia sports than any other city.
All right. One last one, promise. So Craig Carton and all the folks at WFAN started coming out saying that Philadelphia is not really a sports city and that New York is a bigger sports city and that, Philadelphia is not kind of trashy. It's not really like, sports. We're the sports mecca of the world. I just wanted your take on how, they in New York look down because this is what happened after the Knicks series when they overtook the arena. Just your takeaway on that, on how they look at how New York sports talk looks at Philadelphia sports fans.
Would it be rude to say the odds are 3-1 that Carton's wrong?
No, I think so.
Let me just say, the fact that you ended up having to serve time and you were in prison and you are back on the airwaves giving hot takes on stuff you still know nothing about. First of all, how the bleep would he know what Philadelphia's like? He hasn't worked in Philadelphia in 20 years. He's going to be able to compare Philadelphia of 20 years ago with New York today, right after the Knicks, swamped the Sixers in a series. Here's when you know a guy's really giving you his honest opinion. When he was in Philadelphia, if Craig Carton had said on WIP that New York's a better sports city than Philadelphia, that would have been an honest opinion. When he's kissing the ass of the city that's paying him, it's meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. It's another day to get somebody to react. It's all it, Dan. I did it long enough. I did it plenty of years, and I know what I'm talking about here. Philadelphia. I lived in New York for a year too, and I can tell you, I was a Yankee fan for many years. It's the best sports city you'll ever see.
Oh, you know what?
Because we will not listen to your bullshit.
I will.
We know what we think. We don't need to listen to you.
I will tell you this, and I would say this if I was in New York. The two best sports cities, and I spoke on WEEI when I was in Boston. It's Boston and Philly.
Yes.
Those are the two best sports cities I've ever spoken sports to.
They're great.
I think New York and Los Angeles are front runners, and I would say that to anybody.
I agree.
That when you look at those cities, what if New York won in the last 20 years? Help me out on that.
Wow. What have they won? Nothing. They might win now. They might at least get to the NBA Finals. They'll probably lose in the finals, but they're probably going to beat the Cavs.
I thought I was watching Wilt Chamberlain last night when I was watching Wembanyama.
Yeah.
41, 24, and 7 last night.
Wow, is he good.
Angelo,
you're right.
That guy. Hey, but you're right. I can't think of anything that they won. Angelo, folks, make sure you check out AngeloCataldi.com. He's got the blogs there each and every single week for you. Angelo, I'll give you another week off. Thank you so much.
I got to be honest.
Recharge.
You went overtime. I'm exhausted.
I know.
Right. Next time I come on, I'm going to have a relief pitcher to close for me. All right.
Angelo,
leave him in.
Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate
Danny.
you more than you know. Thank you. Thank you. That is Angelo Cataldi. I completely believe that with all my heart. If I was on WFAN and somebody said that to me, and they said, Sills, do you think New York is a better sports town than Philadelphia? Would I compromise myself and lie? I don't think I could. And that'd probably be the end of me in New York. Because I think the best sports cities that I've ever spoken to and in is when I was on the radio in Boston and and talking to Philadelphia folks. I don't think New York is a great sports city. I think they are. I think Giant fans used to be great. Jet and Met fans are the most delusional people I've ever known. Knick fans, they haven't been around since 1973. Ranger fans, thank God for Messier. Devil fans, do you count something from New Jersey? Oh, wait, that's right. The Giants and Jets both play there. I'm not sure what they're talking about. Yeah, they went on the air saying that Philadelphia was a shitty sports city in theory. And I was like, yeah, no. And you know what? I may have to put that out there on my sports grid thing this weekend as well. That Philadelphia is not a shitty sports city. By far, it's not. Just your passion. You in Boston. That's the best sports people I've spoken to. I've talked in Los Angeles. I've talked nationally. I've talked in Dallas. Dallas is not bad. I haven't spoken in Chicago. And I haven't done sports talk in Chicago. I'd like to one day. But Boston, I enjoyed it a lot. I did. I enjoyed it. Okay, but to sit there and say that Philadelphia is not a good sports city is utterly insane. It's insane. And you can't mean that. And what shocks me with Craig is that Craig has spoken on IP. Was he on IP? I think he was on WIP. That's crazy. The Giants and Jets don't even play in New York. Can you imagine the Eagles playing in New Jersey? Make it make sense, right? They're Jersey teams, but don't tell New York fans they think they play in New York. There's only one team that plays in the NFL in New York. It's in Buffalo. I've lived all over, and New England and Philly are by far the most hardcore fans. Yeah. That's where you know where my style fits? Boston and Philly. My style doesn't fit in New York and LA because they're cream puffs. Shit, if I talk the way I talked about the Mets fans are the most overrated fans and the most delusional fans in the history of Major League Baseball. And there's no getting around it. You're delusional. The Mets and the Jet fans are psychotic losers. It's insane that they think they're like if you talk to the Jets or you talk to Met fans, they'll think they're the Phillies and the Eagles. And you're like, bro, the last time the Jets were good, Neil Armstrong was on the moon. And the last time the Mets were good, Strawberry and Gooden were doing cocaine. Yeah, it's BS. Jersey deserves recognition of teams tired of getting lumped with New York. Yeah, it's like New Jersey is like a suburb of like New York now. It's like a borough. It's like Bayside, Queens or something. Oh, yeah. You ever been to New Jersey? That's a borough in New York. What? Dude, I go back and forth with you guys, but don't get it sideways. I think Philadelphia sports fans are fucking great. New York is the softest, most deluded fans on the face of the earth. I'll include Knicks fans as well. They think they're beating OKC. Never happened. You're not beating SGA or Wemby. Dude, the NBA Finals is coming up. And you know when that is? It's coming up between the Western Conference teams. And Wembanyama went for 41, 24, and 7 last night or something. He was sensational. So I got to tell you, man, Tiger Woods is not on tour any longer, but we got now a new man. And I don't know if he won the tournament or not, but Gary Cobb was like, he was playing himself a little bit of golf, man. I wonder if G Cobb, you got to remember the many talents of Gary Cobb. Baseball legend, football legend, Philadelphia Eagle. Now we're going to add golf to it. So let's bring in our friend. We just talked to Angelo Cataldi. Let's talk to our friend, Gary Cobb, who joins us now here on the program. So, G Cobb, how'd you hit him?
I hit him pretty good. You know, I really was strong with the drives and everything. So, my intermediate game, wasn't the best, but I got a hold of the ball. I get a hold of a ball. I can pound it pretty good.
All right, so let me get this now. Where are you on the leaderboard, or is it concluded?
It's concluded, really, because we played earlier, so it's concluded. But I'm on the board, but I'm not at the top.
Are you in it? Oh, wait a minute now. Is this like the Olympics? Are you on the podium?
I'm gonna be there yapping later on. Yeah, that's one of the reasons they asked me to come in there and help draw people and then yap. And of course they want to hear about the Eagles and stuff, and you got all the stuff going with AJ. Everybody's into is AJ. What is AJ doing, man? AJ probably needs to make a movie over all this stuff with his nonsense. With this whole thing with whether he's going or not, I think he is going to leave, though. I don't think he's going to be around.
Now, Gary, I want you to go here with me now. AJ Brown wasn't Jalen Hurts wasn't at AJ Brown's wedding.
I know that.
He wasn't in the wedding party. He didn't show up. Gary, here we are. They're taking the banner down outside of Lincoln Financial. What happened to the relationship between Hurts and AJ Brown?
I guess it's called whatever. Poor stats. They didn't get good stats last year, and it just really just got bad to where, you know, AJ started talking about stuff right after each game, and it just got poisonous, you know, and they weren't in a flow. You know, Jalen does not like, he's not crazy about throwing the ball over the middle. And of course, if you're a big physical receiver, you want the ball. You figure if you got to step on a guy, you got great hands, you got size on all the defensive backs that are trying to play you. So you want the ball a lot more. And I don't, you know, AJ didn't get the ball enough. Their relationship soured, and things started getting ugly, you know, and you got the, you know, Jalen doesn't say anything. But AJ, he just couldn't help it. So he got the mic, he went out there, started talking and everything. And then the way it ended was AJ dropping the ball in the playoffs. Come on, man. You know, with the game on the line down the stretch, you know, he dropped a few balls, man, and it really was hurt the team. And I guess the Eagles have come to the point where they say, you know what, we can't keep this going on. It's not good atmosphere for all the other guys, and it's poisonous. So their relationship has just gotten, and you hit it on the head. He doesn't go. Jalen was not at the wedding. I mean, they were supposed to be like this.
Yeah, that's what I was told. I mean, Gary, here's something else I want to ask.
Yeah.
So, if the Eagles really wanted him back, don't you think there would have been more of a hardcore push to try to keep him? Do you think they just got to the point where they went like this? Okay, we're going to be better off. Our locker room's going to be better off. They're not going to be a better team unless you think that. They're not going to be a better offense without A.J. Brown. But maybe for the sanctity of trying to get something accomplished, you can't have people rowing in a different direction, no matter how talented they are, right? They just went like this. Hey, time to move on.
I mean, it got to the point where, and then the fact that you got, you know, of course, Jalen is the quarterback, you know, and it got to the point to where they just couldn't get along, man. Their vibe, you know, I saw some videos of them on the sideline where it was almost like they were having it out, and they just got to the point where they can't talk to each other. They would rather not even talk about each other and everything, and it just got where you got a big gap in between those guys. And, you know, that's not what you're supposed to have, because whatever, you know, they used to, I guess Jalen is AJ's, you know, the godfather of his kid, one of his kids, and they were so close, and that's one of the reasons he wanted to come here, is because they were buddies from before and everything. But I guess, you know, it just turned sour because AJ wasn't getting the ball enough. And Jalen is not crazy about throwing the ball across the middle. And fittingly, that's what they're going to get into now. He's going to have to throw the ball across the middle in this new offense. So it's a shame. That's why I was hoping that AJ would be here, because I think they're a good fit. Even though, you know, they're not getting along and everything, they're a good fit. You got a big physical receiver, and if he's going over the middle, it's the safest thing is to throw it to a big guy over the middle, because and the other guys on the receivers, man, they got some little receivers. I mean, the draft pick out of USC.
Well, Mekhi Lemon is 5'11", 192.
I mean, dude is small, man.
A little dude.
You know, if he, you know what? They probably cheated a little bit on that 5'11".
Oh, you bet.
I mean, he's not big at all, you know, and you know that Devontae, come on. Devontae is a string bean. I mean, Devontae is tough, and Devontae will go in there and make catches and everything, but he's not that tall. He might be 6 foot. He might be 5'11", but he's very, very thin. So receiver-wise, they are not a big, imposing, you know, group of wide receivers. They're kind of on the small side. And it's going to be interesting to see how teams deal with them. Are they going to move up and try to get in press technique? And really, be honest, there's another thing, too. You know, they got some guys that can run. But when you're talking about Devontae and Mekhi, you know, they're not burners. Neither one of them is a burner. They run good routes. They got good hands and everything.
Guys.
That's right. So you don't have the, well, you know, they're not burners. They do have some guys that can run, though. And I think that's one of the reasons they brought them in here. So they do have guys that can run. And really this offense, the way they're going to want to run it, from what I understand, with looking at what the teams that they're kind of doing things after, is they're going to spread the ball around. Meaning not only are the two top receivers going to get the ball, but the other guys, and you're going to have the tight ends involved. You're going to have these receivers all getting a chance to catch the ball. And they were saying about having 5 guys as threats in the offense, you know, what they can catch the ball. So they're going to spread it around quite a bit, and we'll see. But I think at the beginning of June, you're going to see AJ adios.
Yeah,
going to go to New England, you know,
like June 2. You think he wants out because of Nick Sirianni or Jalen Hurts or both?
I think it's both. You know, I think he's probably tired of hearing Nick, you know, with all the positive stuff. He's saying, you know, positive is when you're throwing me the ball every other play. This is not positive. So there's no way you're going to make him happy without you throwing the ball to him a lot. And, you know, when a guy, after he wins the Super Bowl, goes, it's okay. Okay. What, man, what are you talking about, man? Yeah. So obviously that's not his focus, is to find a way to, you know, to win the Super Bowl. He's got individual goals and everything. That's great and everything. But, you know, the Eagles want to win another Super Bowl. They want to go back, and they want guys that are thinking that way. And so I think they just came to a point where they say, you know what? You know, this is poison for our team. You know, to have guys here where they're not getting along, we might as well get them out of here. So you know that when they made that first pick, a wide receiver, you know, he's adios, man.
Yeah, but Gary, okay, the impact that AJ had on the passing game, and how people had to respect him with yards after the catch.
Yeah.
I saw somebody bring something up here because it was the next question. Mm-hmm. Don't you think when you have a guy like that, you have to be concerned about Barkley in the run game, and you have to be concerned about him?
Yeah.
Doesn't AJ take attention now? Not having AJ there, how are you going to open up the middle of the field? Like, who's the big threat? Does Devontae make you go like this? I got to defend that guy. That guy's Justin Jefferson. That guy's Jamar Chase. Yeah. I'm sorry. He doesn't have that aura about him yet. AJ has that presence, you know?
You're right. He's a big physical receiver, too. They're going to work the tight ends, and they're going to have them involved. They're going to have these other receivers involved. And, you know, you're going to see, of course, Devontae Smith. I think he'll be clearly the number one target on this offense. But they're going to get the tight ends involved. You're going to see them moving, motion, all different things like that. So they are going to get these other guys involved. But unfortunately, AJ, you know, he's not going to be here. But I think they'll be okay because they're going to work the tight ends in. They've got some deep threats, but you're going to have different guys doing different jobs for this team, and I think they're going to be all right. But you know, but AJ's not going to be a part of it, and they hope that they'll take care of him with some of these other guys they brought in. But like I said, the tight ends are going to be a big part of the offense as well. The kid they dropped at the number 2 pick, he's a good receiver. He's not much of a blocker, at least not yet. They're going to tell him he's going to have to learn how to block, but he's a good receiver, and you're going to see him getting a lot of opportunities, as well as, you know, Dallas Goedert and everything. So they're going to be working 2 tight ends, especially with the fact they're going to be running the ball. Now that's going to really be the key. They got to get the running game going. I mean, maybe it won't be as lethal as it was in the year they won the Super Bowl, but they got to have a better running game than they had last year. They got to be much better. And I think, you know, that's one of the reasons they changed the offensive coordinator, because they didn't run the ball well last year, you know. I thought that some of the offensive linemen were playing hurt. I thought that was a part of it, but they didn't run the ball well at all last year. I mean, how many times I see Saquon tackled in the backfield, man? Just ridiculous. So they got to play better. I think they will. But I don't know about the O-line. I mean, are they going to get the O-line they had a couple years ago? I don't know.
Here's something else, too, on Sean Mannion.
Uh-huh.
Gary, I don't care how the much talent you have on defense. Don't you agree? If you don't fix third down, where you were the second worst team in football, and you were fifth in penalties. You were fifth in penalties. So penalties and second worst team in the NFL in third downs. Gary, I don't care what kind of talent you have on defense. If they don't fix that, Sean Mannion's offense is going to affect the defensive field position, the play. Look what happened in that 49er game. By the end of the season, they got ran over by a JV team.
Yeah.
I mean, the run game is really going to be the critical part of the Eagles season for 26. Don't you agree? Because it will affect both sides of the ball.
I agree. I agree with you, but there are going to be a lot of guys that are going to have to contribute to that. When you talk about the offensive line, you talk about the running backs and everything. So they all have got to contribute. And the first thing is these guys got to be healthy. And like I say, last year they weren't. Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, that's the center and the left guard. I mean, they couldn't even walk back to the huddle hardly. They couldn't even walk off the field. That they're out there trying to play. And I thought the offensive line coach, the reason he's no longer here is because he did not set those guys down. I mean, they were hurt. He just kept letting them go out there, and you got three guys in the backfield tackling Saquon, and I know that offensive line are his guys, okay? But I thought he made a mistake in that, I thought that was, and obviously the Eagles front office thought it was a mistake too, so they made some changes. But this year, the offensive line has got to play much better, man. They got to play much better.
Gary, do you agree? This question here, okay? Are you more concerned about life without Jeff Stoutland or life with Sean Mannion?
I guess probably life without Stoutland, because I think his stamp is still on these guys. He's still on the offensive line. He wasn't just their coach. You know how when a coach gets closer than that? That's the way he was. He was like a second father to these guys. And they believed in him. He believed in them. Last year, unfortunately, the injuries occurred and, the season went south. But I think everything will work out. But, I think seeing them play for another offensive line coach it's going to be interesting to see, because Stoutland taught all these guys on this line. He drafted them. He was their dad. They all come on, a guy like Jordan Mailata didn't know hardly what football was. He brings them here and develops them into a Pro Bowl left tackle. Stoutland did that. He did the same thing for Jurgens and Dickerson and Steen and Lane Johnson, for that matter. I mean, he's been here a long time, and he was like their second father, and so they're going to have to get over it, him not being there. But we're going to see if they can be the dominant team they were before. See, now if they get back to where they're able to run the ball every week, then they're going to be back in the hunt.
Gary, do you think that Devontae Smith is going to replace the production of A.J. Brown?
Well, I don't think he probably matches best year in certain things. I think A.J.'s able to do that. Maybe Devontae's, because he doesn't have that size like that. But Devontae will go across the middle and make tough catches and take hits and things like that. So he will do it, even though he's not as big. So
you think AJ? You think Devontae might open up the middle of the game more than what AJ did?
No. I would say that I think there are going to be more guys involved in the pass offense, and that's what's going to have to replace AJ. Meaning, rather than this past year, let's say you got 3 or really 2 receivers that have big numbers. I think you're going to have 5 guys involved in the pass offense, and they're all going to be contributing, where the guys at the bottom of, let's say they got 35, 40 receptions, but you're going to have all those guys involved. So it's going to be 5 guys involved, and you're going to have the tight ends involved more. So I think they will be able to replace him with everybody else. It's not going to just be one or two guys replacing AJ. I think what you're going to have is you're going to have, like I said, the tight ends involved. You're going to have 5 receivers involved. And, they got some guys where they got big time speed. They might not be the best route runners, but they are the deep threat. And see, you got to have that in there because really you're talking about Devontae and Mekhi. They're not really the deep threats as much, even though, we've seen Devontae get deep on people and catch touchdowns and everything. But, but he's a better just a route runner and catching the ball. And both of those guys are very good in that way. But we, they got some receivers that are deep threats too. So you're going to have more guys involved. It's not going to just be 2 men dominant. It's going to be more like I said, 5 receivers all getting opportunities to catch the ball at different times. So they're going to spread it out more. At least that's what they've done in the places that Mannion coached at. See,
Yeah, Gary. Let me ask you about Lemon
like Green
again.
Bay. Yeah.
Let me ask you about Lemon again.
Yeah.
I saw Jordan Addison a couple of years ago when he was at Southern Cal. He transferred from Pitt, and he went to USC.
Yeah.
I thought he was a really good football player at Southern Cal.
Yeah.
I looked up Mekhi Lemon's numbers: 1,100 yards, 700 before that.
That's right.
Man, I don't see Keyshawn Johnson here. I see a good player, but I don't see like a game. I don't see Jamar Chase. Maybe you do, but
No, I'm not
think
saying
he's
I
a
do.
good player, but I don't see Keyshawn Johnson here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's why I say they're gonna need all these guys. Like if we would sit down and go through all the wide receivers, they're all gonna contribute, and they're all going to have to contribute because Devontae and Mekhi Lemon, they're not necessarily deep threat guys. They're not big, but they are guys that run great routes. They're very precise in the routes they run. They do a good job in knowing whether it's zone or man-to-man. And, Devontae's a true professional. And so he's going to be ready, and he's smart, and he's going to do everything they want him to do. But I don't think he's going to be dominant where you're going to see him catch 100 balls. No, because they're going to spread it out more. See, now we're going to see whether this works. But you see, they've gone out and they've gotten other wide receivers who have got abilities, and they're going to need all of them involved. This is not going to be 2 men leading the let's say you have Devontae catches, let's say catches 70 balls, 75 balls, whatever. Well, then you're going to have Lemon coming in, like I say, in the 60s. And then you're going to have other guys catching 50 balls, 40 balls, 30. So you're going to have all those guys involved. That's what they want to do because they want to be more like what you see with Green Bay. Think about LA. Look how the Rams, even though they have some top receivers, you see all the guys they got involved, all the receivers they got involved. That's what you're going to see with the Eagles offense. This is not an offense where they're just going to be dominant with 2 receivers. It's going to be 5 receivers, and that's what they want to do. Now, if they are able to achieve that, because they want to mix it up. They don't want it to be where you got 2 guys dominant. And if you see what
they want a unit. They want a unit.
They want a unit. Look at Green Bay. Yeah. Green Bay hasn't had a dominant guy. And that's where he came from. See, so he's trying to bring that to here. So yeah, you have, maybe a couple of receivers that lead the way, but you got 5 receivers catching the ball in key situations. So they got to worry about all these guys. And we'll see how it works out. We're going to be all sitting there watching it. But, they're confident about it. I can see Sean Mannion, very, very active in the practices and everything, talking to the guys and everything. So they've got, quite a few receivers. In fact, I think the fairest thing, I don't have it right here sitting in front of me, all the receivers that they have. They brought in some guys that they expect to come in and contribute, because some of these guys have got more speed than either Devontae or Mekhi. What's that?
Yeah. Hollywood Brown.
Dontavian
Wicks.
That's right. they're bringing those guys in because they bring something else to the table. See, and so they want to have all these guys involved, and what it does is they want to make the defense have to cover everybody. They don't want it where, well, they're just going to try to take away, like we're going to try to double AJ and we're going to double Devontae and all that. No, you're not going to be able to do that because the other guys are going to have routes where they're the number one option. See, and they're going to get all these guys involved, and that's really what the offense that they want to run. And we'll see how much success they have with it, but that's what they want to do. It's not the same offense that you've seen here so far, and everybody's going to see whether this is successful or not. And of course, Jalen Hurts is the key. Come on, we're going to see him throwing the ball over the middle and everything, but he's got to get in a relationship with all these receivers, and I know he's working with some of them already. See, he's already working with some of those guys, and they're working on this offense and all of the details of it and everything. So we will see. That's what the season is about.
Couple last ones here for you.
Yeah.
So with all what you're saying now, it seems to me that they're moving closer to how Nick has been taught offense, working with Phillip Rivers and getting away from what Jalen Hurts does best. It looks like they're building more of an offense that Nick understands and spreading the ball around than what Jalen's good at. Because Jalen's success has been simplistic offense, but dominant performances by all of his teammates and him. It just seems to me now they're getting away from that and how they do it. That's more physical. This is more finesse football that you're explaining to me a finesse team spreading the ball around, still running the football, but that's not what they've done and how they've won. This is more being tailored to what Nick does best.
Well, I think Nick is going to contribute in everything, but Mannion is the one that's running this offense. Okay, and so what they're going to be doing is they're going to be getting the ball to everybody. They're going to have everybody involved. It's not going to be where they're going to just try to come out and be dominant with 2 or 3 guys throwing the ball to them. And I think that this is going to work as long as you got that the run threat. You got that run threat there. That's going to be the key. And I think it's going to be you're going to see a good passing attack. And I don't think Jalen has any problem spreading the ball around. I don't think he's got a problem with that. I think he's going to flourish in this offense. One of the things I want to see is, are they going to let him, take off with the ball some? See, because I think they need that element in the game, even though, you got the risk of injury and everything. I think having Jalen take off with the ball some, it keeps the defense honest. You got the backside. A lot of times that backside defensive end and everything, a lot of times if you can have some bootlegs every now and then to keep them honest, you're going to help the running game because they got to always check and make sure Jalen's not coming out of there with that ball stuff. So different things like that. I still think, like I said, that they should have different ways where they make people still respect the fact that Jalen can still run,
Okay.
And that's something I want to see them, just every now and then. They just got to see it on the tape. Once or twice a game, you're going to keep everybody honest.
Okay. Final question for you. So are you more concerned this coming season about how Barkley's going to run the ball or how Hurts is going to run the ball?
I'm more concerned about Barkley because if he's running the ball well, the Eagles are back in the hunt. You better know that. If they are able to run the ball, because I think it goes well with the passing attack and everything. If they are able to run the ball, just like if you look at the Rams, the Packers, the 49ers, if they run the ball well, you're in trouble because then they got all these things coming off the pass or the run look, and they're going to be moving the ball on you. And I think that's what this team is going to be able to do if they can run the ball. And so, those guys went down to South America, and they got
the Brazilian butt tucks and all that down there. Whatever.
I know guys that go down to South America for other things.
Yeah. They're taking airplanes. They're taking airplanes and throwing things out of airplanes in the water. That's what the guys I know. I went to Miami. Remember that, Gary? I know what those guys are doing down there. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I know what you're saying.
Hey,
because I know some of those guys.
well, G-Cub's on the podium, man, at a golf event. Very good. Gary, thank you so much, brother. I'll catch you soon, man.
All right. Hey, have a good one.
You got it. Gary Cobb. Thank you very much. Absolutely great. All right. Yeah. Give me a break. Going down there to South America. All good. Gotcha. I really think Jalen Hurts is going to surprise people with his arm this year. Not because he couldn't, but because he's playing a West Coast offense now under Sean Mannion. All right. For as good as wide receiver as AJ, he's a real asshole. There you go, Kimberly. Hurts went to bat for him to be traded here. AJ was a crybaby in Tennessee also. Good luck in New England. I'm sure he'll be bitching about Drake May in a year. Kim, why are you surprised? You know who the guy is. Stop, folks, stop being surprised on who people are. I mean, there's a reason that they put a profile out on people. This, like I said, I've read you profiles. Those profiles don't change. That's who you are. A.J. Brown loses focus when he's not engaged. That hasn't changed. That was his 2018 profile when he came out of Ole Miss. Right. I called him A.J. Owens. That doesn't mean he stinks. I said it from day one. This guy's a diva. Nah, he's a great guy, and he's okay. Well, he could be a great guy in a pain in the ass. Absolutely. Since day one, I called him A.J. Owens. What'd you think? He was just going to be? He came to Philadelphia, and he was going to all of a sudden change who he was. Zebras don't change their stripes, man. Sills just proves you can't work alongside your best friend. It never works. I experienced that in my own life. Yeah, because you don't want to, you can't make decisions that are really the tough decisions by telling the guy he sucks. Hey, guy, you stink. Pick your game up. Dak's a great man, but that's uncool. Of course, he would stop being a dumbass dude. No, he's not going to stop. He's never going to stop. These joint practices in New England are going to be top-tier content. Oh, absolutely. Hey, A.J. Brown in New England with Josh McDaniel. Who do you think he wants to play for? Sean Mannion or Josh McDaniel? Use your brain. You guys are in here going, oh, Drake May, this. No, he wants to work with Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels is the same guy that got Moss open for 20 touchdowns. That's who he wants to work with because he knows he's going to get targets. And Josh is going to scheme him up. And the passing game is going to go through him. Common sense. Sean Mannion or Josh McDaniels. I mean, come on, man. If the NFL and HBO were smart, they would do Eagles and Pats and Hard Knocks and cash in on this. Okay? I refuse to blame a guy for not wanting his career ruined and all joy taken out of the work in his workday from an extremely unqualified coworker. Randy Moss, generational talent. Yes. When you're so gifted and so talented that you can wipe your ass on a goalpost and people not give a shit about it, except for Joe Buck's stupid ass, Randy Moss can wipe his ass on anything he wants and still play in my huddle. You know why? Randy Moss gets the Jimmy Johnson treatment. Go ahead, because you produce 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns and 100 catches every year. Okay? Quez Watkins, you're freaking fired. That's reality. That's how you coach in today's NFL. You don't treat, you treat men the same. You treat football players differently. I'm not saying you treat a man any different than you treat another man. You treat football players differently. You're great. You're average. That's reality. Let me here. My wife said the same thing. Let me tell you this. So my coach had the production scale. Sileo, you got this amount of baggage and it weighs your scale down. You better go out there and give me the best football every single game of your career to balance that thing out, and you can be an asshole. The moment that doesn't balance, you're out. That guy doesn't give a shit about anything but production. Are you a productive player? I'm going to So Charles Haley is a great example of this. Charles Haley didn't like to practice and didn't want to practice during the week. So you know what Jimmy told him? And this is where the rub with Seifert was wrong. No, it was Seifert because he urinated on his car hood. Yeah, but this guy won 5 Super Bowls. And so what he did was he didn't want to practice in Philly. Or excuse me, he didn't want to practice in San Francisco. The 49ers wanted him to practice. So what did they do? They traded his ass to the 1-15 Cowboys. And Ed DeBartolo has said it to this day. One of the worst mistakes next to the Joe Montana move he ever made in his life was getting rid of Haley. Haley goes to Dallas. Jimmy Johnson told him this. You don't want to practice? Fine. I want 8 tackles and a sack and a half a game. And Haley gave it to him. So Jimmy didn't fuck with him. Guy won 5 Super Bowls, 3 in Dallas and 2 in San Francisco. He's one of the only men ever to do that that's not like a Patriot guy. Hey, you're good. You get the latitude. You're not. Like the famous story. Guy fell asleep in the Cowboy. That was there for this. Guy fell asleep in a meeting. And Emmett fell asleep in a meeting. Well, Jimmy goes, why didn't you wake Emmett up? The other guy got fired and sent home. That's how he coached. You knew where you stood with that dude. The guy didn't give a shit about anything but being a productive player or a productive coach. Jimmy didn't give a shit whether you were cool or not. That had no bearing. Had no bearing on how they looked at one another. Thoughts on Rashid Rice? We could have it worse. At least AJ is just a deep right. Rashid Rice is doing time in the pokey, right? This guy's now doing time in the can. So he violates his probation and he's ordered to jail, and he'll miss OTAs and minicamp. Wide receiver Rashid Rice has been sentenced to 30 days in the can after tested positive for marijuana and violating his terms of probation for his role in a crash that left multiple people injured in Dallas on a Dallas highway 2 years ago. The Dallas State Attorney's Office, hey, that means that Texas Rangers are after your ass. Not good. If he wasn't a chief, he'd be in problems. Tuesday, that Rice was ordered to go to jail immediately as part of his original 30-day sentence for third-degree felony of racing and causing bodily harm. How you doing? You got to hand it to Andy Reid, man. This guy's got all kinds of shit issues going on in his locker room. I know. Big Red, all you got to do is put like ropes on that jacket of his. He'd look like a Turkey Day parade guy down there when it comes to the Macy's Day Parade. Yeah, you're holding on to the ropes. The Andy Reid float. I like Andy too. How about Andy Reid though, man, huh? All the shit that goes on there. How about we got like a peanut gallery going on here today. I actually like it. She's actually kicked in. They want to see your mug though. Come up here. No, didn't think so. I don't do shit for free. Yeah, welcome to broadcasting. All right. All right, yeah. Hey, Kim, you like Jalen Hurts, right? I want everyone to hear this. Kim, do you like Jalen Hurts? She loves Jalen Hurts. And he's getting effed over. Dee Dee loves Jalen Hurts, right? Okay, so my kid and my wife love Jalen. I want you to know this. We're a house divided. we're a house divided here. All right. I was told today I got to be a little more positive, so the wife's kicking in. How you doing there? All right. Without further ado. So we've had Angelo Cataldi on. We've had JAKIB from a bar in Philly. Now we're going to get our boy on. Big Z, Zander Krause joins us now. How you doing?
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
How about Kimbo, man? Big Jalen Hurts fan.
Yeah, well, I mean, all right, Kimbo. Well, Jalen Hurts is now going to have to elevate the offense above the 25th ranked offense in pro football. That's going to be his responsibility this year, Big Sills, and I don't believe that can be put on a coach, a player, A.J. Brown, or anybody else. If you're a great quarterback and you're an elite player in this league, you don't allow yourself to be ranked 25th overall or whatever the heck they were. So that's great that she loves him, but he's got to go and deliver the goods.
Yeah, but are they asking something that's not attainable with his skill set? Not because he can't do it.
What about
that's just year? Not what he does.
What about last year?
Okay. Well, they did win 11 ball games. You're not going to win a Super Bowl every year, Jan.
Well, they won 11 ball games. Why?
Because they got great talent.
I think because they had a great defense. I mean, their offense really struggled last year. So,
it did.
I don't view those 11 wins and say, oh well, they weren't bad. No, the offense was horrible. I mean, if you guys remember, all year, week 8, week 10, week 13, week 16, playoffs, we were like, this team's not going because the offense sucked the whole year. That was the topic.
Shit.
So
how many times did we do this?
Elite, if the player is so great, then these conversations shouldn't be happening. But they are, and everybody wants to blame the coaches or AJ or any of these other things. I'm not saying it's all Jalen. I'm just saying, if you're an elite player, Sills, you'll understand this. When you're elite, what does being an elite player come with? Or what does being great come with? Or what does being the leader of somewhere come? It comes with a greater responsibility.
It's a burden.
Exactly right. A bigger burden and a greater responsibility.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear the excuses that it's everybody else. I'm not saying it's only Hurts, but you got to be better too, dude. You're the captain of the offense that's 25th overall. So we'll see.
What's that? What's that?
Do you want me to drive in NASCAR or do you want me to drive an IndyCar?
Now, that's the issue.
What'd you say? It's an IndyCar.
She goes like this. Well, do you want to drive a NASCAR or do you want to drive an open wheel IndyCar?
Well,
I mean, you're kind of asking Jalen Hurts to drive a NASCAR, and he's used to being open wheel in his style of racing.
You're not comparing the Eagles roster to a lesser automobile, are you? They're like
No, you're right. I'll
they're
flip
like
that.
the Mercedes when there was no salary cap in
I'll
F1.
flip that. They're more open wheel.
They're way more open wheel.
But wait a minute. But the point is, it is a different style, dude.
It is, but look, it is projected, right? I mean, I don't know how much they're going to change. I really don't, because I mean, look, it doesn't make sense. I mean, your wife is right. It doesn't make sense to take a player who's elevated his game and elevated to prominence in the National Football League and then just throw that in the garbage. It doesn't make any sense at all. It's not like so. It is what it is. But I'm still kind of in wait and see mode on what they run. But I think even beside that was kind of my point in the start of the segment here was even beside what they do this year. Last year was an unacceptable offense, and I think he would agree to that. So are you going to take the responsibility to elevate that offense up, or are you going to name every excuse in the book? It's the offense, it's the coach, it's AJ, it's this, it's that, it's Saquon. So come on. You know what I mean? I mean, that to me, that can't be done. If you're a great player, if you're a leader, if you're the quarterback, I don't hear Josh Allen crying. I mean, I hear when Josh Allen falls flat, he's crying at the podium. Now, that's his own problem, but still, I don't hear the blame on everything else. And that roster is not all that great, especially in the offensive skill position players. Same thing goes with all the other guys. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, another elite player. Obviously, maybe he's not a right guy to comp to, but I mean, they got rid of all his weapons. He's throwing to a guy that's going to be our 4th or 5th receiver here this year to win Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And Juju Smith-Schuster. No, it's get the job done. So I think the whole team maybe needs a little bit more of that too. Stop looking at everybody else and do what you got to do for the team to be successful. That goes for Saquon, the O-line, Jalen Hurts, and everybody else.
How about this, E? Are you more concerned this year about Barkley's running ability, or are you more concerned about Jalen's running ability?
Jalen's. I don't think Barkley lost it as a runner. I don't think last year was.
Do you think the offensive line has lost it?
I think that was a big part of Barkley last year. I think when it comes to Jalen, you've seen. I don't know that I would call it. He lost the ability. I think he lost the desire or the will to do it. And I maybe either it's either that or it's the agent or it's the team. Maybe look, the other thing that can't be ruled out with that is you could also say it could be the owner. I mean, remember the owner had Carson Wentz, who was kind of reckless with the football or reckless running the ball. He ultimately ended up injured because of that, running the ball into the end zone versus the LA Rams in week 11 or 12 or 13, whatever that was. And then he was never the same player.
You're talking about something awful then, because I'm going to put this. Okay, you just said something. I want to be clear here. Maybe it's the owner or it's the agent that doesn't want him to run. Zander, bro, when you're wanting to be a superstar champion like that, you got to fucking throw your body into a fire.
Yeah.
You got to sacrifice everything in your life to get across the goal line and to be a finisher. That's not a finisher.
Yeah.
That's a guy who's now pulled up on the reins, what you're talking about. Dude, I want a guy jumping out of an airplane, not knowing if his parachute.
So do you think it's more Hurts then?
I'm just saying what you're explaining to me is, hey, dude, there's, like I told you, I'd rather be pulled off the edge than pushed to it, because that means that guy is doing everything he possibly can for greatness. That edge, that 5 inches at the edge is the difference between being the 1%ers or a guy who's really great.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, and maybe that will and that want to has to be there regardless of who says what. I mean, you get so it's what's the old saying? Everybody says something until the bullets start flying, right?
That's right.
But when the bullets are flying, you got to do what it takes to win, and you would think that would overcome everything the owner or the agent or anybody else says. Now, I think the question there would be, is there a fair way to look at it where you don't really want Jalen running like that in week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? You know what I mean? Like, do you want to preserve him? Is that a part of it? How do you turn it on, later in the year?
Like
A little bit. I think you'd
Well,
like to see
during
it
the
a little
regular
more.
season, Mahomes is not going to go for a 3rd and 1 in Las Vegas.
Yeah, but remember, dude, remember this? What was the best Jalen running games last year? Do you remember?
Was it Minnesota?
It was the first 4 weeks of the year.
The worst first 4 weeks.
Remember that Dallas game?
He won.
They
those
don't win
games-
that. They don't win that season
No.
opener last year without
Those
Jalen's legs.
First 4 weeks of the season, him running was the reason they won those games.
Yeah, especially that Dallas game. I mean, that team did not look that good versus Dallas. Jalen Hurts was great in that game. So I don't know. Maybe that's week 1. I just wonder. It's kind of a tough thing to thread. If you're trying to, obviously you don't want Jalen to go down. But how do you bridge that? You also can't take it completely away because it changes who they are as an offense and him as a player. Yeah, to me, it's got to be the top's got to come off.
You think he's just trying to extend his career?
I don't know. If you were making $52 million,
Yeah.
you'd be trying to extend your career.
Well, that's learning what Boomer said about learning how to play with the contract.
Yeah.
Because these guys don't have long windows.
It's almost easily
And he's
explained.
not as skilled as Vic.
Yeah, it's almost easily explained from a human perspective, right?
Yes.
Like, why would he not be trying to extend his career?
No, money.
Yeah.
Generational wealth. Hey, dude, can you imagine this? If Jalen Hurts does get an extension, he'll make $500 million in the NFL.
He probably are. I mean, he's already probably made $200 million in the NFL.
Oh, absolutely. Dude, he's probably floating near 300 with the Jordan stuff.
Yo, can I take this phone call? I need 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I'm going to make this
absolutely.
call. All right, sorry, dude.
Absolutely, man. If Barkley's being dominant, then that opens up Hurts for read option. I think you're going to need to have 1,500 yards plus and 12 TDs, okay, for them to be in the conversation to win the NFC. Here comes another bullshit comment. But Sills, you said he was never going to get another extension. Yeah, I know. He's not. He's never going to get an extension in Philly. He may not want it. Dak hasn't done shit with a top 10 offense and defense. Got 1 playoff win out of it. Yeah. Well, he doesn't have everything that they have going on in Philly. He doesn't. Dak Prescott has shitty coaching. No. Shitty front office. I'll take that back. Why would Jalen run more behind that busted up line? He probably would have missed most of the season. Well, to that point, Mello, end of the day, that's why you got blown out by a bullshit playoff team. Not blown out, but beat. He's not. He's not blaming that. He's not. He's not doing that. That's not what he's doing. That's not. Sills, I really think Jalen lost a step and can't get the edge, which means he would have to run power, and that means taking some big hits. Yeah, no, I would say this to you. I don't think he wants to take those hits. Who does? Nobody wants to take big hits. Yeah, he does. Are you kidding me? Of course he does. Half these lunatics in here think this guy's the greatest thing that ever hit the NFL, that hit the NFL fields. That he's the greatest passer and quarterback of all time. I've had 3 Hall of Fame voters on this station who said they're not even in the conversation of voting for him for the Hall of Fame. Those are just people. Those are people who vote. Jalen better improve his pocket awareness. He's not going to. Kim, you're in your 7th year of the NFL. You're not improving your skill set. That's another reason why he's not going to improve. Because the Eagles don't allow quarterbacks to accelerate their development. They didn't do it with Wentz. They're doing it with Hurts. There's too much turnover in Philly to develop a quarterback. And the Eagle fans don't want to see this. Hey, once again, here, and get this. They're 50-18. They've been to 2 Super Bowls, and they're revamping the entire freaking offense. They're not revamping any offense anywhere in football with elite quarterbacks. They're not redoing the offense in Dallas. Another change. NFL teams will no longer be able to protect specific home games from being moved internationally. Wow. As we told you, Armando Salgado broke that story the other day on my show. There's going to be 11 international games, and in 2 years, it's going to get to 17. They're going to get to 17. Excuse me. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys. Some really good folks in here. In between the morons, we really appreciate you guys coming here. Please hit that like button. Never seen rebuilding Super Bowl winner before. No. I've never seen anybody in a million years rebuilding a team that's 50-18 and 2 Super Bowl appearances. It's like ridiculous. Seals, how many good run defenses we got on schedule other than the Texans? I don't think you got any. I don't really think there's a lot of good run defenses. Seals, Carter is going to be a first or second team All-Pro. I sure hope he plays to his ability because I see Jerome Brown kind of ability in him. By the way, folks, just so you know, the lovely Kim was at Jerome's funeral. She sat next to Cortez Kennedy and Russell Maryland. How's that for you? She's in the middle of 2 of them, and the 3 of them are crying. I got Alonzo Highsmith sitting next to me, and my wife and I went to this thing, and the lovely Kim, she's like, look at Reggie. Reggie White was giving a sermon. I'd never been to a Baptist funeral in my entire life. And all of a sudden, the singing just started. It was insane. And everybody, Chris Carter was crying, Seth Joyner, who was out? Everybody was there. Andre Waters was there. Half the NFL was there. I mean, and the lovely Kim, what was really cool, you know who was was comforting her? Cortez, who would later pass on, of course, and Russell Maryland. And she's sitting in the middle of them. I thought that was one of the coolest things about that whole experience, which was terrible, was that my wife, she was my girlfriend. I think she was my girlfriend at the time. She was sitting in between those 2 dudes, and they knew who she was. And they were like, comforting her, which was really cool. You had to be there. It was quite an event. Jerome was buried in a purple suit, Kim. I think it was a purple suit. Crazy. My friend Jerry Ball used to wear them, and she used to go, only nose guards could figure out how to look good in suits like that. Unfortunately, you ain't one of them. I could never. I'd look like that great guy. Like Barney. I'd look like Barney in a suit like that. If he wants $35 million, Carter better show up. I think Rosenhaus will get on him. Oh, Rosenhaus will. Let me know, Zander, when you can, okay? Yeah, I got you. It's all good. So, again, yeah. I mean, end of the day. Thanks a lot. Hey, Rasputin, it's all good. I'll never, in a million years, ever respond to any of that stuff. He comes there every day, though, and I appreciate him, by the way. Me and Zander laugh. It's all good. Thank you very much. He keeps the algorithm going. It's all good. Well, an algorithm is a guy. We got a guy in here, Kim, that stalks me every day. And what he does is he posts like at least 200 times. And like he'll have to pay for my attention, you know? So it's all good. I mean, I don't know. He gets up every morning, comes in here every morning, and he posts these ridiculous things. I don't really read them. I don't care. I'm here. I kind of care this guy, though. He's one of many. True. He's one of the many stalkers. We do. That's why we park our car behind a gate. That's my fault, by the way. We have to park our car behind a gate. Hey, Sue, Kim makes me park the car behind the gate. It's nothing better. I know it's all good. Don't scare him away. I don't want him to. Okay. Then why are you here every day? Sills, soon. No, Reyes isn't. No, he's not. He's good. He's just stupid. Let's see here. Yeah, he's just stupid. Yeah, I'm good with this guy. I'm good with Reyes. I'm good with that guy. Do it, bro. Hey, bro, get this.
My
He's
bad.
doing multitasking.
Yeah,
right?
it's a nightmare. You know what? I'm dealing with. Yeah, whatever. All good.
Multitasking, right?
I've been waiting on these people to call me, and of course, they call me right when I get on the Big Sill show.
How you doing, man? All right, I got a question for you here, bro. So I'm going to take a topic from WIP today.
All right.
You think AJ wants out of Philly because of Hurts? I'm going to add to it, or Nick.
Yeah, I mean, probably a little bit of both. I never got the sense that AJ Brown liked Nick Sirianni. I remember that one time.
I think it's more Nick.
It might be. It might be. I mean, I never got the sense he liked Nick. I remember that one time when they were in the tunnel walking off a game.
Yeah.
And Nick is like Nick is like hooting and hollering, and AJ's like, bro, what are you doing? You know, so I don't know. It could be Nick too, but I also think it's Jalen too, because you know the style of offense that they play is partly built for the quarterback, or at least it has been. You know, Nick didn't run this offense everywhere.
No,
you know, and that, by the way,
anywhere.
that's a good thing. That you don't want the coach to come here and run the Phillip Rivers offense for Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So the offense changed with Nick from Jalen. I think football-wise, it's about Jalen. I think personality and leadership-wise, it's about Nick Sirianni.
Don't you think they're changing? Once again, Z, follow me on this one. Why do I get the impression the offense is being changed more to the style of coaching that suits Nick better than the quarterback? That leads me to believe that the coach has more staying power in the organization than the quarterback does.
I don't think so.
Well, dude, the personnel changes alone says that.
I don't think so. I never heard Jeffrey Lurie talk about Nick Sirianni the way he talked about
Talk is
Jalen Hurts.
cheap. Look at the actions and what they're doing.
Well, what is the action, brother?
Okay. They're hiring a guy that has an offense like Nick ran in San Diego. Okay. This offense looks like the offense they ran in San Diego. Hey, Kim, do you know that Nick Sirianni was the quarterback coach and wide receiver coach under Frank in San Diego? Yeah. I used to go over there all the time. Me and her would go over there. We used to do events with the Chargers. Sirianni was there. So was Bobby King. He was the linebacker coach there. Anyway, this looks more like a Phillip. Do you think this thing that they want to do looks more like a Phillip Rivers offense or an RPO offense?
Well, you really think they're fully embracing that, don't you?
Yes.
I'm not saying you're wrong about the evidence that they've given us would lead us to believe
And they
that.
tried to do that with Kellen Moore in the first 4 games in 24.
Yeah, and then you know what happened when it didn't work?
Okay.
Wait, I'm just going to dispute your one point about Nick. You know what happened after the first 4 weeks of 24 didn't work?
Yeah.
They almost fired the coach.
Yeah. But
Not the quarter. They didn't think about benching the quarterback. They almost fired the head coach.
Well, if they don't have that iconic running game in 26, you don't have another option but to try to win through the passing game. You had an option that year. Now you don't. And the way the league is set up, the Eagles want to take advantage of the NFL. Dude, you don't take advantage of the NFL running the ball. You take advantage throwing the ball. That's why they're doing this. If that run game, say it gets to 1,300. Okay, Zander, if Jalen Hurts has a normal Jalen Hurts year, 3,200, 20 TDs, 8 interceptions, and Barkley has 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns, is that good enough to win a Super Bowl? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Even if you're top 10.
I mean, who do you put? See, this is my disconnect probably with most Eagle fans at this point. I think I'm not here to tell you that Kevin Patullo did good, or even Nick Sirianni for that matter. But I think when people associate the passing game struggles, to me, that's more about Jalen has to elevate that. I think most fans listening think, oh, well, the coaches suck, and that's why the passing game sucks. And I don't really see it that way. You know, if the passing game isn't good enough, to me, that's who's responsible for the passing game. I'd ask you, who do you think it is?
It's quarterback executing.
Right. I mean, that's kind of how I see it too. Now, there's different degrees of coaching. I mean, you know, I think coaches can add more and do more things to make it better for the quarterback or more beneficial to the quarterback. But, you know, the thing I struggle with internally about this is, and you'd have to believe all of it to have this thought process, but some of it I do believe is if Jalen struggles with some of the complex concepts as much as we've heard that he's or struggles with them. You know, you've seen reports where he doesn't want to be under center, doesn't like motion, doesn't like all these different things. Well, if that's true, then what really do you want a coach to do to try and elevate the passing offense? Like my example is Sean McVay, right? Or Kyle Shanahan or Ben Johnson. And these are guys that add different wrinkles, and those different wrinkles are part of what makes them great coaching. But if your quarterback is struggling with the concepts that, you know, precede those wrinkles you can add to your offense, then how are you ever going to get to adding the wrinkles? How are you ever going to get to the point where you're changing the offense or doing things to the offense to give yourself a competitive advantage? You know, it's like teaching a kid. You don't teach a kid calculus before you teach him how to add. You know, you got to teach him how to add, and then he can get to that point. But you're not going to jump, hey, write the cal. I don't even know what a number is. You know, maybe that's an extreme example, but my point with that is, if the concepts have been a challenge for Jalen or something that he doesn't like, then why are people looking for the coaches to add this element to the team that, you know, makes them an insurmountable offense to stop? They can't.
Here's why. And I think this goes back to the root of the beginning. That guy wasn't brought here to be the starting quarterback. And I don't believe that they knew how to coach him then. And I still don't think they know how to coach him now. This goes back to the beginning. Dude, when you bring in Trevor Lawrence or you bring in Joe Burrow, you know what that dude is and why you're bringing in Jamar Chase later, T. Higgins, a passing coordinator. You have an understanding of what that guy was. Hurts has been playing catch-up his entire career in Philly because he was never brought here to be the dude. He's evolved into that. Unfortunately, the Eagle organization hasn't evolved with him and elevating him. They've not coached him right since 22. We all know that. In the last 2 years,
it gets to a point where the players are the guys on the field. I mean,
bro, but it also, you have to help the guy. Look, you think Vic Fangio helped Nakobe Dean and all 100%. The linebackers and all those guys when they help put them guys in a position to succeed?
Well, all right. It's a good point.
I think coaching matters more in the NFL than in college.
I agree, but my only pushback to that would be, well, is that what they tried to do in 24 with Kellen Moore?
Yeah, the first 4, and then it failed. They went back to what they know the kid could do. Yeah.
So maybe that's where John's right. John used to say that was unfair. It was too quick, that they abandoned it.
Because they're not a patient franchise.
No, they're not.
And this is why you don't really develop coordinators. It's hit or miss. Now, let me ask you something about Mannion. So if Mannion turns out to be another guy, and all of a sudden you got a number 1 offense, and that guy has elevated Jalen Hurts, and all of a sudden that guy's worked his way into getting an extension, are you letting him go? Or are you keeping Nick?
I don't think they're going to keep Nick and after Jalen. I'm sorry, I just don't.
I'm saying if Jalen turns it on, and all of a sudden he turns into this guy they want, and all of a sudden
with Sean Mannion, you're saying?
Yeah. Are you going to let that guy go and go, hey, this guy elevated, and then you're going to go back?
Wait, so this is the hardest thing though. So I get where you're coming from, because I remember people saying it about Kellen Moore, but are you telling me they're going to have a successful year?
No.
And then they're going to blow out the head coach?
No, what I'm going to say is you're going to lose another opportunity at a coach who elevated a kid like Shane Steichen. Do you think if they had to do that all over again, they would have thought more serious about keeping Shane if they knew that guy had brought that dude to that level of play in 22? Hurts was electric in 22. He has not been that way except for some spotty games. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, yeah.
He's not been that same guy.
No.
All right. So I'm going to ask you this here. I've been asking everybody here. I asked Angelo this and I asked Gary this. Are you more concerned with life with Jeff Stoutland or life with Sean Mannion?
Life without Jeff Stoutland or
life without Jeff Stoutland or life with Sean Mannion? Are you more concerned with one? Which one are you more concerned with?
I'm more concerned with life without Stoutland. Because we already had an unknown coordinator coming in last year.
Okay.
Technically, that's not uncharted territory for us. Having no Jeff Stoutland in the building, remember, that's going to be the first time he's not been there for Jalen. It's going to be the first time he's not been there for the O-line. It's going to be the first time he's not been there for Lane Johnson, for Jordan Mailata. Think about that. When Lane Johnson was drafted here, what was that? How many years ago? 11, 13 years ago?
13 years ago.
He's had Jeff Stoutland every single year. Jordan Mailata, who learned to put a helmet on with this guy. Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Jalen Hurts. Every single one of these guys that makes up the offense has had Jeff Stoutland a part of.
And what's the most important thing about this year? You've got to have answers for Dickerson and Cam if it doesn't go the way you want.
Yeah, I agree.
And you're relying on somebody. I don't know if he's a bad coach or a good coach, but I know Stoutland's a great coach. Do you agree, Zander, when his no compete ends at the end of this year, there's going to be 10 teams that are going to want to hire him? Jeff Stoutland's going to have 10 teams want to hire him, right?
I don't know. He hasn't been hired.
Because he's got a no compete. He's under contract.
Oh, he does?
He's under contract right now. Yeah.
Well, he got fired.
Yeah, but he's still got a year left on his deal. They owe him money. They owe him a year of money. I know that.
Okay.
I asked Adam Kaplan that.
I don't know. Does Jeff Stoutland try and return to coaching? I mean, how old is he?
68, I think.
By the way, his kid's blowing up on social media. He does these golf things or something. He's 64. You think he returns?
Oh yeah. He'll coach until he's 70. Vic's going to be.
No, it's right. He actually wasn't fired. He quit.
Yeah. Well, okay. Whatever how you look at it. You had an interesting conversation today about when you opened up the show today. Talked about the defense being this and that. Do you agree that Sean Mannion is going to dictate how that defense plays this year? Because if you're horseshit again on first and second down and you can't develop third down, I don't care what kind of talent you have. You could have the 24 Eagles or Gang Green. It won't matter.
Yeah.
3 and outs. And
Yeah, but dude, they got it. They can't do that again, can they? They can't
I don't
lead the
think so.
league. Dude, it almost feels impossible. Dude, Sean Mannion could be a bigger airhead than Bobo, and I still don't think they're going to lead the league in 3 and outs. To me, that was such an anomaly. It's like I don't think that's going to happen.
So wait a second here. Okay, so they were not good on third down. They were injured, and every star in that offense played poorly last year. That's on one guy?
I don't know that I've ever said that's on one guy.
No, I didn't say you said that.
That's
I'm
why
asking,
people get mad at me because they think it's all Nick Sirianni's fault.
No, I'm talking Patullo.
Yeah, well, Patullo, Sirianni, it's all the same thing. Everybody thinks the coaches and the clipboard holders are supposed to be able to do what everybody wants them to do on the field.
Not one offensive guy had a decent year a year ago. And I'm supposed to believe that's Kevin Patullo? Man, that's a lot. Like, give me a guy you went like this. That was a pretty good year.
Overthinking it post Super Bowl? Like, was it just the Super Bowl?
I think that could be. Hey, dude, usually
it's hard to repeat, and they made the playoffs and ultimately they never got the rhythm. And
Zander, do you think? Listen to this. So the Kansas City Chiefs went to the AFC Championship game 7 years in a row. They went to 5 Super Bowls and they won 3. And they went to 3 in a row. Jesus, dude. They had a down year last year. That's not uncommon to run out of gas, do you think, after a 7-year run?
Well, for sure. But I mean, the question there would be, is that a good enough excuse for the level of incompetence that the offense had last year?
Well, who did they have? They had an aging Kelsey, and then who was he throwing the ball to? That's a personnel thing. They didn't, Brett Veach and those guys, they didn't retool. You remember Brady had a 10-year gap.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
That's true. I mean.
Okay, I got another one here for you.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect of this damn offense. I'm in wait-and-see mode. I really am.
Okay, couple more here for you, Z. Mekhi Lemon's 5'11", and as Gary Cobb says, that's generous. He's probably like 5'10", 192. You think he has – what kind of impact do you think this guy – do you really think he's an elite rookie coming out of college?
Mekhi Lemon? I don't know that I would call him elite. I mean, elite to me is
Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I mean,
JSN.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Was JSN elite coming? Yeah, he was kind of elite coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even think any of the top receivers this year that got drafted.
No. I think they're next year.
Yeah, right. You got Marvin Harrison. No, not Marvin. No, what's that? Jeremiah Smith. Yeah, that dude's a stud. Yeah, I could see that.
Look, and I voted for this kid for the Biletnikoff Award. I think he was a consensus All-American. I'm not. What I'm saying is, I think he's good. We mentioned it yesterday. He's going to have the impact that Devontae had his rookie year. Man.
Yeah, I think he could. I mean, I think he could because of the trade of AJ. Where there is only one, there's one ball, so it's got to go around to, X amount of people. Devontae's not going to get 200 targets. So where's the, where are you giving up those 100 targets there, AJ? Is it 50 to Lemon? Is it, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a little bit more than that. So we'll see. I mean, I like Lemon. I don't think,
No. I do too.
But this is my problem with the thought process on Lemon. And it has nothing to do with the player. I'll ask you and I'll ask everybody listening. Do you believe that Devontae Smith has lived up or has played up to his true potential as a player?
I think it has a lot to do with scheme.
Well, that's precisely my point.
I think
He's not being drafted to the Cowboys.
But I also think he was drafted into a role he never Well, no, because he lived in that role a little bit at Bama.
But I'm saying, like, if Devontae Smith couldn't be the player we think he can be because of the offenses, whatever that comes with this offense, then why do we think Mekhi Lemon's going to live up to it? AJ didn't live up to it. That's why he wants out.
Okay.
He lived up there for 2 years, but
do you think
Devontae? I don't think. I mean, Devontae's most amount of yards in his career, I think, is 1150. Sorry, but that guy's capable of more than that. I just don't think he's had the opportunity to do it.
So here, you're the perfect person to ask on this. I'm going to ask you this here, and this goes into what you just asked. Here it is right here. Let me ask this here. Hold on, real sec. All right. So Z, do you believe that Devontae Smith is as talented as Jalen Waddle? Let me give you context.
I think he's more talented.
First year, 1,015, 7 touchdowns. Second year, 1,456.
Whew, man.
18 yards a catch, 8 touchdowns. Following year, 1,014, 8 touchdowns. Obviously, the last 2 years, it's been a quarterback charade. 800 yards, two touchdowns. Last year, 910 with 6. He's got 5,039 yards and 26 touchdowns, and he played in that second role too, next to Tyreek Hill. He wasn't the one there too. Let me see Devontae there. If Devontae's got the same numbers as Jalen Waddle. And remember, he played on a shittier team. So let's see here. Devontae Smith. Does he have 5,000 receiving yards? Let's see here. They got the same numbers. They're exactly the same. 5,039, 5,039. You think that Devontae is better than him?
I do. Clearly doesn't have the production, but I do think he's a better player. Would you take Waddle or would you take Smitty right now?
He's missed 3 games in his career.
Wow, that's pretty good.
He's got 373 catches and 5,000. He's got 1,400. He's got 14 yards a catch. Smitty's got 4 more TDs. Dude, they're identical numbers. They came out the same year.
Yeah. Remember, Waddle got hurt that year. That's when Devontae went and won the Heisman. I mean, I personally like Devontae's game more than I like Waddle. I like Waddle a lot, but, where did he get traded to? Denver, right?
Denver. He's in Denver now with Bo Nix. Well, he's there with Sean Payton, too.
I can't say I'm the biggest Bo Flicks fan.
Me too, man. I can't stand it. Dude, that guy was on a GI Bill or something when he was at college.
744 last year, or 24. Yeah, Waddle's had 2 down years.
Well, I think it's because the offense was down the last 2 years also.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Because of my – but look at that 14 or that 1,300-yard year, that 1,400-yard year.
That was 22, brother. I mean –
well, he was in a 2-role. They got the same number. Bro, they got the same –
22, I mean –
bro,
Jalen Hurts was an MVP in 22.
Bro, they got the same numbers. They're the same exact numbers right now. Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith.
Well, what's the point? Like, I would take Smitty.
Okay,
personally.
The point is, how do you think Waddle's going to do in Denver?
I think pretty good. I mean, how high volume was that offense last year?
Cortland Sutton is on the other side, right?
Yeah, I remember. I know that Denver Broncos offense. Yeah, they were 10th in the NFL in total offense.
What were they in passing, though?
They had 3,900 passing yards, middle of the pack.
Okay, so they're like 15th. They were more of a run team, right?
Let me look at their exact rating in passing. They were 11th in passing.
That's not terrible.
No, it's not.
Final question for you: 5 most important Eagles coming up in 26 will be who? Hurts 1.
Jalen Hurts. Jalen Carter.
Huh. Okay.
I can't put Quinyon and Coop, can I?
Split them up.
I feel like it's true. Because if Cooper plays great, that's going to alleviate the safety role in a big way in terms of, the lack of talent back there. All right, give me Jalen Hurts. Man, I'm about to go 4 straight defense.
Funny. I got 5 offense. You got
See, because
5.
you're coming from a place of the offense has to be better. I'm coming from a place of I'm used to the offense sucking balls. So our only chance at being good this year is the defense being locked down. And in order for the defense to be locked down, I need Carter, Quinyon, Coop, and Bond to all play like studs.
Hurts, Barkley, Smith, Lane, and Lemon are my 5.
No Landon or Cam?
Nope. Those 5 guys are my 5. If those 5
Hey,
Eagles,
this is a sign, though. Do you see that I've resigned?
oh, you completely hate the offense.
I hate it, and I've resigned on it.
Folks,
I no longer attach my expectation of the
Hey.
Eagles to anything offensive related.
before he goes, how many shows did you do this before we went on the air? What a shitty offense. What the hell is there to talk
It's
about?
horrible.
It was
I've
like
never seen my problem with it is I've never seen a fan base give so many excuses.
oh yeah,
Dude, if the Bills' offense sucked, we'd be ripping Josh Allen.
of course.
I mean, look, it's not all Hurts' fault, but I mean, people love to just nothing is on the quarterback of the team. I'm like, all right, yeah, I got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn too. All right, I mean, come on, with that shit.
Hey, make sure you tell John prayers go out to his private situation. Just make sure you tell him if
Yeah, he's all good. I spoke with him a little later in the day today, so I think he's all good.
So make sure you tell him that too.
I
Okay.
will. I'll tell him.
Big Z, I'll see you in the morning, man. Keep up the fabulous
bro.
work.
You can do me a favor. Wrap this sucker up 550, will you? Or,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Will
I
do.
got to run tonight. I got a bunch of shit going on, if you can't tell. So I got to go for a drive.
Is this married relation?
No, no, it's not actually. It's not. It's life related. So,
Okay.
Not
Oh,
married.
good. You're in a good place though. You're all
I
right.
didn't as much as lift a finger to plan the Big Z wedding.
Okay.
My fiance is fine with that. Her family, on the other hand, I don't know.
Hey.
All right, brother, I gotta run.
All right, man. I'm going to pay some bills here. Then we'll take it right to 50. All right. Hey, our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number 1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason. That is because they win. With over $30 billion recovered. Make no mistake about it. Morgan & Morgan is here to defend you and your family. John and Ultima Morgan started this company over 25 years ago, making sure they defended families. Like John's brother, who was hurt on the job. John, this became a crusade. Folks, I told you about the family in Pennsylvania. $650K they were initially offered. They got nearly $30 million in settlement. Or the family down in Florida, $350K. They got nearly $12 million. Easiest decision you'll ever make in your life. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound love 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound love 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
Had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
So DFW, June 2nd, 2027, breaking news. The Eagles have released Jalen Hurts and will be a post-June 1 first cut. Sirianni, thank you, Jalen, but the Eagles have decided to go in another direction moving forward. If that was the only case, they would run it back on what they're doing. But obviously they're not. Obviously they're not. And Zander's right. The offense has to play better. They totally do. Coming off the 21 season, did you think 22 would have been explosive? No. Howie didn't either. He had 2 1s, if you remember right, for a reason. And that 20 after the 22 season, he had 2 1s, if you remember right. Okay? They were going to draft a quarterback. And Hurts had that 22 season, and all of a sudden, all bets were off. Okay? Right. Year 2030, Dak gets another extension, still having only 2 playoff wins. Probably. Let's see. Shut up. Slap-ass Cowboys fans. You have enough problems to worry about with your shitty, overhyped football team. That's not an unfair comment. The Cowboys are overhyped. Because they don't – the Cowboys bring in great players or prospects and guys that could win, but they got to do it. They've got to do it. Like Bo used to say, just do it. I mean, I think the Cowboys have done a lot of good things. By the way, I was a huge fan of getting rid of Micah Parsons. I don't think Jerry Jones got hammered for it. The Cowboys are better today since they traded Micah Parsons. They've gotten better. It's not quite what happened in Detroit, but did Detroit get better? Ask yourself this. Okay? Did the Detroit Lions get better when they traded Matthew Stafford? Yes or no? Did they get better? Yes. The Lions got better. trading a generational quarterback. Detroit got better. The Rams won a Super Bowl. Okay? Getting rid of Mike exposed that wheel-ass secondary sells. Dude, they outplayed you in 2 games last year without Parsons. In the opener and down 21. If Miles Sanders doesn't fumble the ball, they beat you and sweep you a year ago. Cowboys outplayed you in both games. You weren't the better team in that series last year. Based on what? So every year the Cowboys look good on paper and against you. That's right. Last year's ancient history. Jalen Hurts played with the Cowboy Nation. Would he have won a Super Bowl? No, because Jerry Jones is a terrible general manager. No. The people that hold the Cowboys back is the owner. Cowboys mismanaged their cap? Yes. They overpay for a couple players? That's right. That's fair and true. Our offense sucked. What does that have to do with their secondary? My point still stands. 7 wins. Okay? And again, they were the best team in the East last year. They did. They had the best record in the East. But the Cowboys do. Without a doubt, the Cowboys have to play and show up when it's not just Philly. They've got to play, and it's the owner. The owner believes that he is this guru, general manager. Okay? That's not what I said, guy. They had the best record in the East. I didn't say they won it. I said they had the best record in the East. It's not a lie. Coach Parker will unlock the Vic Fangio so the Cowboys offense will blow the Eagles out of the water. Well, we'll see. Yeah, that's so Cowboys. They'll beat Philly and then lose to the Cardinals. Exactly correct. That is so Dallas. You are 1,000% right. That is so Dallas. They'll beat a big team and then turn around and lose to a shit team and get beat by Jacoby Brissett. That is exactly right. And that's what makes them not a consistent playoff team every year, is because exactly what you just said, Tommy. Okay? Sills, have you just thought the NFL has simply passed Jerry Jones by? Yeah, because you know why? All he talks about are the glory days when they won those 3 Super Bowls 30 plus years ago. They don't make their own history. Absolutely true. All they talk about is, well, back in the day when we were the triplets and this bullshit and this and that. Yeah, he still talks about that crap like that. And yes, absolutely true. All right, guys, I appreciate you very much. Thank you. Battle Royale tomorrow. Always fun. By the way, Mark Holmes has been smiling a lot. So we will talk with him. We appreciate all of you. Hit that like button. 2 to 6 tomorrow. We'll see you on the flip side.